The following is a presentation of The Day.
It's semifinals Saturday in the boys basketball side of things in the ECC, and the Francis X. Sweeney Fieldhouse will host the Thames River rivalry, the Fitch Falcons and the New London High School Whalers. Possibly the most contentious rivalry in the ECC at the time, and all of the action will be live on Game Day. Game Day is brought to you by Waterford Dental Health. All that is good begins with a smile, and at Waterford Dental Health, your smile is our top priority. Our entire team dedicated to providing you with the personalized and gentle care that you deserve. So contact us today at waterforddentalhealth.com. Casey O'Neill, along with the coach, Chris Giusti. We saw Stonington and Wheeler, the numbers 1 and 2 seed in Division II, advance to Mohegan Sun for Tuesday night's finals. Now we're about ready to turn it up here with the Division I semifinals, the first being Fitch, New London. They've played twice. They've both been outstanding, contentious games. Fitch won the first, New London won the second, and here they are in the semis.
Yeah, I mean, cue up Taylor Swift, a little bit of bad blood between these two local rivals separated by the Gold Star Bridge. Going to be an exciting matchup as always with both teams looking to play up-tempo. Which team can make shots and control their turnovers? I think that's going to determine the winner tonight, Casey.
Well, we mentioned Wheeler won the first game of the day. That meant that nothing bad could happen to our man, the sports doctor. Congratulations to your alma mater. What do you got going for this one? Bear with us while we fix some technical difficulties.
All right, Casey, well, a big smile on my face for the Wheeler Lions advancing, but we'll shift our attention to this game. Coach Dave Cornish a little upset about his team played against Wyndham, but said they had a great practice last night. And for Coach Sylvan, he said, I think this is the 11th time in 3 years that we've played New London. So you talk about a couple of teams that want to get at it. They like to get at it. This game should be up and down and nonstop.
Thank you, Sports Doctor. You know, there's a lot of bad blood for sure. The two teams know each other so well, players playing back and forth. The game that they played most recently at Fitch was a nail-biter, and New London held on. Both teams will be playing without some starters due to injury and other reasons. New London will be out without Savon Warren. Fitch will be without Malachi Saab. So each team is going to have to mix in some people to do things, take those roles away. But at the end of it all, I think maybe this game is so exciting because of the guard play. And we're going to see 4 of the best guards in the conference.
Yeah, and I've said it before, and I'll continue to say it. You know, if you're investing like you invest in stocks, give me the 2 Fitch sophomores. J.J. Robinson, number 1, Xavier Good, number 3. Both 2 of the highest caliber players that we have in this league, all-star players, and they're going to be here for another 2 years. But on the other side, you got the 2 junior guards in Williams and Boo Boo, Sean Phillips, and they have a little bit more seasoning. They're a junior pair, and those 2 matchups are going to be really captivating to watch tonight.
I think the guy jumping it up there for Fitch, Jacob Francis, he was out with a foot injury for much of the year. He is an absolute key to their success, and ironically, the guy who just got the tip there, TJ Punch, did not play in that Wyndham game. He's a key tonight for New London because he brings all of their physicality without Savon Warren.
Fitch opens up, man-to-man.
Caden Simons drives to the basket, and ball deflected out of bounds. So first possession for New London. While not a bad shot, I think that's the thing New London's trying to get away from it. When they play their best basketball, it's not those guard drives.
New London playing a 2-2-1 half-court trap to start the game, and they commit a foul.
Simons is going to crash into Timmerman, so it'll be the first foul.
Timmerman will be drawing those extra minutes that usually Malachi Saab gets in the starting lineup. But you nailed it, I think, Casey. The X factor is Francis, number 11 for Fitch. He had a dynamite game in their first meeting on January 12th, really controlled the inside and allowed the Fitch guards to operate.
Good. Williams got a hand on it, knocks it out of bounds. Devin Williams got the hair out today. Almost incognito. We're so used to him with the tight braids.
New London kind of taking a page out of the East Lyme playbook. The Vikings played the Falcons tough the other night in the quarters, playing 2-3 zone.
Timmerman launches a three. That's no good, and it'll be Whaler basketball. I think, honestly, if you know where Good is and you don't let him take open looks, that's probably your best bet, because Robinson's going to get to the basket, but you want to keep those threes away.
Fitch went to a 2-1-2 full court or three-quarter court, and you see Francis's athleticism and speed. He almost picked it off on the sideline.
Well, and during their first meeting of the year, which we had at New London, it was this half-court trap that bothered New London so much and saw Fitch run out to a huge victory, as Phillips misses the three, but rebounded by the Whalers. Washington gets harassed, and we're going to get a foul on J.J. Robinson as he went for the steal and undercut Boo Boo Phillips. But that first game, we saw a much-anticipated game get out of hand very quickly because Fitch completely flummoxed New London with that half-court pressure. It wasn't the full-court pressure. It was the half-court pressure, and they did not really adjust to it well.
Yeah, New London didn't shoot well, and like I said, Francis was able to control a lot of the defensive boards.
Francis steps out, blocks the shot by Williams, but it goes right into Julius Washington's hands, and he finishes for the first basket of the game. A steal. Washington lobs it too high for Devin Williams, and then Caden Gaskin's going to get his second quick foul as he bumps into Robinson. So that's two quick ones on New London and specifically on KK.
Yeah, he's a big energy guy and a big defender. So Coach Cornish will go to his bench here.
Yeah, Amir Hall's going to check in. So sophomore in for freshman. We saw the Hall brothers, Amir and Jameer, give real good minutes down the stretch to New London. We expect them to be a big part of today. Robinson now, and a kick ball by Williams. Sails just high of the crossbar and out of bounds.
This is a very active zone that New London's playing, a little different than the East Lyme 2-3 that the Vikings played the other night. They're out there at the volleyball line about 35 feet from the basket, and their back line is more around the foul line. So more of a 2-2-1 than a 2-3.
I like this substitution. Shaquille Reels was in the game for less than a second and got a shot off the other direction. Williams running the floor for the Whalers. But Nate Virtue, who's the big body for Fitch, and Reels in the game, I think they realize New London's taking away the outside shot. Now they got Francis and Virtue in the game. Gives them two big bodies. Robinson with a high floater over punch. Falcons are on the board. And Phillips travels. There's that half-court trap that we saw, very effective for the Falcons.
Both teams, trying to, stymie the matriculation up the court with the dribbling. Both teams like to get to the basket off the bounce. So by throwing out these three-quarter court and half-court zone traps, you force the teams to think, and they can't just dribble up the court comfortably and get momentum north-south.
Crowd filtering in for this one. Of course, the 6 o'clock game features the number 1 seed St. Bernard Saints and the home, if you will, number 4 seed Waterford Lancers. We expect a big crowd for that one. Saints on an epic winning streak here right now in the ECC. Robinson crossover, kick out, Reels for three, no good front iron. Soft bounce, and how about a 3-bounce three?
How about a no good? No, it is good.
Gives the Falcons the lead. Other direction now, Washington. Nice move, slices to the basket, but can't get it to go. And it'll be tipped out of bounds in favor of the Falcons. I like the move by Washington. Pump fake, hard to the basket, just couldn't get it to go. St. Bernard's arriving in the gym as we speak. Saint's going to catch a little of this one, see some semifinal action here. Robinson gets a high screen from Virtue, drives to the basket, floater over punch, no good. Boo Boo Phillips goes up high for the rebound. He's going to run the break. Slice, floater, no good, and the tip was up and a foul called. I think Boo Boo actually got his own floater. He did, and he'll shoot 2.
Foul on Virtue.
Personal foul number 23, Nate Virtue. His first, team second.
So 2 shots for Deshaun Phillips. And we're all tied at 5 here in the early going. Good officiating crew today. Robbie Bono, Greg Keith, and Dan Henderson. As we are 3-man crews here in the semifinals. Phillips knocks the second one down. New London back on top. Good with an open 3. No good back iron. Strong rebound by Punch. Devin Williams drives into traffic. Good look. TJ Punch with the finish.
Well, if you're going to play zone, you cannot allow middle drives. I mean, that's just going to kill the zone right away. And the last couple possessions, New London's been able to go right down Broadway.
Pick and roll. Virtue kicks out. Good swings. Reels for 3. Good. Sakis reels.
Nice extra pass from Xavier Good that time. He could have took it himself, but he made the one more and got Reels open in the corner.
Williams slices to the basket, and we're going to get a block on Virtue.
Yeah, and with Virtue in the middle, he doesn't offer the same kind of shot thwarting and shot blocking ability that Francis does. So the New London guards and penetrators are able to get to the basket with greater ease.
Francis will get right back into the game as Virtue got the 2 quick fouls. No, he's leaving Virtue in, and instead Sebastian's going to take a seat. Even Virtue thought he was coming out. He was running over to the bench. He goes, no, you stay on. Second one is good for Williams, and a quick 30-second timeout for New London. You know, you don't imagine 2 teams who know each other so well would have a feeling out process, but it does feel right now like both teams are sort of feeling each other out right now, which they played a week ago, right? They know each other so well. Talk a little bit, is that just the way games evolve?
Yeah, I think it also has something to do with kind of like the environment. It isn't one team's home environment, it's a neutral site. You know, this traditionally has always been a really cool day for the ECC, a Super Saturday. But with the new format, they do filter out all the fans after the second game and bring in a set of new fans. So there's still some people coming into the gym. I would say, you know, by mid-second quarter, we'll start to get some buzz in the gym. But they're definitely, you know, trying some different things, both teams right now, and seeing how to attack it without making the turnover that leads to an easy basket for the other team, because both coaches have preached we cannot give this team easy baskets.
Robinson gets a screen from Francis, swings, Reels pulls it up, and Fitch resets. Robinson trying to bully Phillips to the basket. Keeps going around and around and around. Are we going to get a foul or are we going to get a travel? The 2 officials, Keith and Henderson, are going to talk, and they're going to call the travel. I think that's a good call. I think Robinson was determined to get around. You know, he just kept going, and then he picked up the dribble, and once that happened, he was kind of stuck.
Fitch extending the pressure here.
Go to the middle, well done. Washington slides over the top. Offensive foul against Julius Washington. Virtue did a great job that time standing his ground.
And that was a big one because that would have been number 3 on Virtue. So that was a big 50-50 call that went the Falcons' way. And he's going to play interior defense by trying to get his body in the way and take charges, whereas Francis can elevate and block the shot. They're two different interior defenders, and they both know how to do their job well.
And give Virtue credit for getting his feet set, but without letting Washington recognize so that pass wasn't there. Speaking of passes, Robinson finds Francis for an easy look under the hoop, and the Falcons have the lead.
Yeah, London was man-to-man, and that pick and roll really hurt them in the first meeting, and Fitch was able to take advantage again.
Good out on Williams. Gets a screen from Washington. Give and go, kick out, punch, baseline jump shot. No good, and Good rips it down and runs for the Falcons. Robinson gets a screen from Francis, steps back, little stutter step, loses it. A lot of contact, no call. Whalers coming the other direction. Phillips pulls up from 15 feet, back iron, and Good with another rebound. Good pump fake, great hands from Devin Williams, but they're gonna get him on the reach. Xavier Good is slippery, and he's always kind of going what looks like glide mode, but he has that great hesitation and the ability to kind of put a little burst on, and he seems to always have someone on his hip. Like you can never quite stay in front of him. He's very, very elusive with the basketball.
He knows how to score. There's kids that can score, and there's kids who know how to score. Xavier's the second.
New London forces Fitch into a timeout as they couldn't get the ball inbounds. So the Falcons will call a timeout, and it's a 30-second timeout with the 1-point lead and underneath the basket. Let's talk a little bit more about that concept, right? There are guys who can score, and there are certain kids who just know how to score the basketball. Devin Williams is that kind of player for New London. He finishes in a variety of ways, but he knows how to get the ball into the basket. Conversely, I think that's what Xavier Good has. He has a variety of tricks, ways of kind of, keeping people on his hip, and he's got that IQ, the basketball IQ, to know, when he's got you in a vulnerable position. And it's very interesting how savvy some of these kids are with their basketball IQ.
Yeah, they used to call it, he's got that men's league game. There's no more men's league anymore, but that's what it would equate to.
New London with the steal. Hall ahead. Phillips high off the glass. Basket is good. And the foul. Boo-Boo Phillips puts the Whalers back on top, and he'll shoot the bonus.
Yeah, Good was in position, but the extra elevation, it seems like Phillips was able to get to floor 7 on that and was able to get that extension over the shot block attempt.
Free throw soft on the front of the rim goes down, and the Whalers back up 2. Under 2 minutes remaining here in quarter number 1. Robinson for 3. Back iron, no good. Long rebound comes down to Sebastian, though. He went up and got it. Now Robinson back to his game. A little give and go with Sebastian. That's a beautiful finish. Robinson to Francis to Sebastian, and we're tied at 12.
Fitch staying in this diamond and one type zone. 1-2-1-1. And they fall back into man.
High screen. Williams gives it to Phillips.
Both teams have been relatively patient all quarter long on offense.
Phillips will draw the foul as he went up on the jump shot. Hung in the air just long enough to draw the foul on J.J. Robinson. That's 2 on J.J., and it'll put Deshaun Phillips at the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, those 2 fouls on J.J. will make it interesting to see how Coach Sylvan wants to play the rest of it. And there's the answer right there as Timmerman comes in.
And he was just saying to JJ, just got to be smart now. I don't think you're not going to probably sit the last minute and 4 seconds, and you got to be smart. But speaking of that, Keem Davis in for punch, so we're going to see a little substitution switch for the Whalers, big for big. One more for Phillips. He missed them both. Empty trip for the Whalers. Now it'll be interesting to see where the scoring comes from. Timmerman says it's going to come from me with a 3. No good. Sebastian, no good. Washington hustles for the ball. Whalers 40 seconds, shot clock at 25, so it will be about a 15-second difference between the two. Williams, shot clock under 10, drives, floater, no good, tip. Whalers retain, they can take the last shot if they want it. Hall drives, floater over Francis, no good. Reels with the rebound. Fitch can get a last shot, Hall steals it, but they're gonna call the foul. And that's gonna put Reels at the line to shoot 2 with 6 seconds remaining in the quarter.
Yeah, the New London bench was screaming for last shot. I don't think the New London players heard it when they got the offensive rebound. They took a quick floater and then committed the reach-in foul on the rebound, which gives Fitch the opportunity here to take the lead.
And they do in the first one. We'll see mass subs, Ben Perry, Charlie Giancopoulos, and also checking into the game, Carlos Reimer Hernandez. You're not going to let anybody get a foul here in the last 6 seconds. Reels knocks them both down. Falcons with a 2-point lead. Here comes Williams in the other direction. Stutter step, hangs in the air, blocked. Out of bounds, it stays with New London, but they're going to say there's still time on the clock.
Definitely was, great call. Sometimes they will just let that go, but this is the playoffs. You got to put the seconds back on.
0.8 on the clock.
Great block underneath. Remember, Coach Sylvan put in a bunch of subs, so Devin Williams just decided to take it right to the basket. I think it was Timmerman who got his hand on it.
So with 0.8, they can get a quick lob or catch shot immediate. And that's not going to get it done. Boo Boo Phillips, good if it goes. And not quite there. 14-12, Fitch on top. We're at the end of one. You're watching Game Day live on Day.com.
All that is good begins with a smile. At Waterford Dental Health, your smile is our top priority. Our entire team is dedicated to providing you with the personalized, gentle care that you deserve. Part of our commitment to serving our patients includes providing information that helps them to make more informed decisions about their oral health needs. Our website is a resource we hope you'll find both useful and interesting. Contact us today at waterforddentalhealth.com.
We're back. J.J. Robinson, the playmaker. Francis to Sebastian. That's just good ball movement right there. And I think ball movement sums up in both directions which team, when they play their best, it's about ball movement.
Yeah, and what other guys are going to step up? We saw that Reels came in and had 8 points in the first quarter, so he was able to give Fitch a third option in scoring.
Sports Doctor, you were listening in. What do you hear?
Well, Coach Cornish talked about we're turning them over, but then we're not capitalizing on it. We're giving the ball right back. So, after our defensive pressure and we turn them over, we give it right back to them. So sometimes we got to settle down a little bit and get organized before before we let horses out of the barn a little bit. So he likes it. He likes how his team is playing, but he says a little more patience.
I think when you look at New London and Fitch, the frustrations when they've lost games this year, in general, it's been when the ball gets pounding a little bit too much and not enough movement. both directions. Both teams, when these great guards maybe sometimes try to do too much.
The game has been a much more half-court game than I anticipated. Not a lot of transition opportunities for either team.
Good. Pump fakes. Floats in the air. Off the glass. Soft touch. Kiss. And a deuce puts Fitch up 4.
That's his first 2 points of the game, but he can get going in a hurry.
One of the top scorers in the state of Connecticut, Xavier Good.
I think third, last I checked, third in the state at 25 a game.
Timmerman hounding Hall. Hall finds an open Williams for 3. Good! D. Will with a triple.
Yeah, can't leave him open. That's like a foul shot for him.
Robinson picks up the dribble. Good. Great look underneath. Francis bridged by Davis. Basket's good, and the foul. Just a poor choice, that's all, by Nakeem Davis. He slid and got a little bump that he didn't need to do.
Yeah, and like I said, that was really the big difference in the first game. Francis played so well. He made plays like that time and time again, and if he continues to play the way he's playing right now, it's going to be a good night for Fitch.
Punch back into the ball game for New London. Francis gets it back to a 4-point lead. Falcons back in token man pressure. Good hands. Williams to Hall. Washington at the free throw line. It's a good set, but an empty one. Good ball movement, but they just couldn't knock a shot down. Open look for Good. Got it! Timeout Whalers as Xavier Good has got the Falcons up 7. They lost them in transition. That's the horror movie. The coach's horror movie. Lost in transition.
Yeah, and he can get going in a hurry. If you lose him, you give him a little breathing room. He just got his first bucket a minute ago, and now they lose him in transition. He hits the open 3, and he could heat up quick. He's like a microwave. And New London's got to be concerned, I think, with the fact that on offense they look very stagnant. They don't look like they have that pep in their step. Very flat-footed, running half-court sets that don't really seem to have much of a purpose. Still getting good looks, but not really sure if they have an identity right now on offense. So timeout from Coach Cornish to hopefully organize things, set up this next offensive possession.
Well, he's going to get Caden Gaskin back in the game with 2 fouls. We haven't seen him in a while because of those 2 fouls, but he's a legit scorer both in transition and on the offensive end, and I think he realizes that he needs, somebody else who can score the basketball. And with Punch and Hall, both of whom are more role players in what they do, you need a third person out there because the guards of St. Bernard's are making life difficult for Williams and for Phillips. So there's that third person that needs to be involved.
Yeah, like I said, they have 2 dynamic guards on both teams. If they cancel each other out, we saw that Reels was able to step up in the first quarter for Fitch. Who's going to step up for New London?
Williams, long 3, no good. Francis with a big rebound.
Yeah, he's made his presence known early in this game. That is a great sign for the Falcons.
Robinson over Punch, draws the foul. He'll shoot 2.
And that's JJ's game. When he gets going north and south, he seemingly has a knack for picking up contact. He's fearless when he drives to the hoop, so even if you just kind of go up to attempt a block, he's coming in with such momentum and such force, it absolutely looks like you're fouling him.
First one is in and out. Another for Robinson. And he misses both. That's uncharacteristic.
Fitch sticking with man-to-man.
Phillips trying to take Timmerman. Blocked by Francis. Sebastian will run. Basket is good, and the foul. Calvin Sebastian gets the Falcons fans on their feet.
And it starts again with Francis, Casey. He has really made his presence known down there on the defensive end. He's dominating the boards, and there he gets the big swat, which leads to a transition opportunities. Both teams feast off transition opportunities, and there Fitch was able to capitalize with the deuce and the damage.
New London going to go to a bigger lineup here now with Punch and Washington and Gaskin in the game all at once. But they're going to be facing a 10-point deficit if Sebastian makes it. He doesn't, so it's 9. Williams drives, contact, no call, tip, no call. Falcons running.
Again, it's Francis, just straight up good defense.
Robinson blocked by Punch. That was great defense by the Falcons. Good no call. Punch, baseline, 12 feet, knocks it down. That's a big basket by TJ Punch.
And he has to be able to hit that because Francis is just playing in the middle of the paint. He's not coming out and guarding TJ. So if TJ starts to hit that shot, Jacob's going to have to go out of the paint, which leaves the lane open for the guards.
Good, crosses over Williams, but nice defense. Now Good picks it up, launches a 3, back iron, no good, but Sebastian with the rebound, kicked out. Good, steps into another 3. Nothing but nylon. Foot on the line, so it's a 2. But Xavier Good's heating up.
Okay, he's up to 7.
And an offensive foul on Simons Gaskin. That's his 3rd, and he's going to end up probably coming right back out of this game with 4 minutes remaining in the half.
Yeah, great defense there by Sebastian. He's given them good energy off the bench. Remember, Fitch without one of their primary guards in Malachi Saab tonight. Timmerman got the start. He's playing outstanding man-to-man defense. Reels comes in off the bench, hits a couple 3s, and the Falcons are getting contributions from multiple players on the roster. New London struggling to find that 3rd and 4th player to give them some baskets. Good, slips it on the floor.
We're going to get a foul on Sebastian.
Yep, that's the first team foul on Fitch for this quarter.
Credit TJ Punch, by the way, with the immediate diffusion of any possible things. He went right over and picked Sebastian. By the way, they were teammates last year. He went right over and picked up Sebastian and lifted him up. Like, we're not beefing here, all right? Like, make sure the officials know we're good.
So New London already has 4 team fouls. So every foul they commit, Fitch is shooting free throws with the new rule. Falcons only have 1 team foul.
Phillips steps into a 3. Boo-boo! Knocking down a triple brings the Whalers to within 6.
Yeah, they needed that. Over the outstretched arm of Jacob Francis.
Robinson, beautiful look. Timmerman, wide open 3. Z for 3.
That's when you know you have a team. When you can bring a guy off the bench into the starting lineup and he's making big-time shots for you.
Hall's going to get a little, as the sports doctor would say, loose change. Nickel dimer out away from the basket. That's where that comes from, nickel dime, loose change. Sports doctor, you've been listening. What are you thinking here?
Well, one thing shows early, London looks a little flat. I mean, do they miss the energy of Savon Warren out there, Casey?
I think they miss his athleticism and his ability to score the basketball. But We're not playing defense right now, and Xavier Good has the Falcons up 11, and the Whalers, every time they make a little run, Fitch has an answer.
Yeah, 9 points for Good, all in this quarter. As I said, he's like a microwave. He heats up fast.
The bigger, I think, story is he's playing defense on Devin Williams. Phillips with a wild 3, Francis with the rebound. And right now the Whalers just looking for answers, and I think defensively they are struggling. Robinson, Sebastian with an open look 3. And everything going the Falcons' way.
Beautiful extra pass. You know, JJ might have took that to the rack a month ago, but that's, like I said, when you know you have a team when you trust in each other and when guys can come off the bench and make big plays and score the basket.
Williams slices, splits the double team, gets to the basket, it's 12.
You're not going to slow him down all night, but they've done a good job for the most part.
Robinson travels with the basketball, and it's funny, Whalers have done a pretty good job on JJ with the dribble penetration. Where it's been problematic has been he's found open guys, and whether it's Reels, Timmerman, Sebastian, I mean, how many different Falcons have knocked down the 3 in this game? It might be 5 different Falcons.
Well, that's the evolution of a point guard, right? You know, he came in as a scorer. In middle school, he was counted on to score the ball a lot. And now as he's starting to play against better competition and with other guys that can score, he has to learn how to make the right decision. Take what the defense gives you.
Double screen, Williams, baseline, scorers score. Devin Williams finishes reverse, leads 10. Good pulls up at the elbow, no good, maybe even inside of that. Phillips tries to get there. Now the Falcons have numbers. Swing pass. Reels for 3. No good. But Francis, weak side rebound. And a travel.
Unfortunately, he traveled, but he had 2 offensive rebounds on that possession, Casey. As I said in the early moments of this game, he is the X factor. He was the difference in game number 1. Remember, he sustained a midseason foot injury, and by the time they played for the second time, I don't think he was 100%. He was 100% cleared, but still trying to get his sea legs and the basketball IQ back. He looks full speed today.
Wild shot by Williams. Good runs the break. Here comes Robinson. Wild out of control. And I think if any Whaler had just stood still, they would have gotten a charge. But he was going so fast, they were moving with him.
Yeah, he has a knack for drawing fouls. There are players like that. You watch different levels of basketball. Because he attacks with such reckless abandon and he has such good body control, it's not like he's just coming in, charging, bulling over people. He's nimble. He's agile. So he's stepping around people, and it always looks like it's the other guy's fault.
He is agile. Is he mobile? Is he hostile?
He doesn't look too hostile. He looks kind of calm out there.
He does have a nice mellow presence to him. But I think your evaluation of him is spot on, the evolution of a point guard. I know it feels like he's been around a long time, but he's only a sophomore. And where he used to be a little bit reckless, now he's a little more under control. And where he used to be a little get to the basket, now he's let me find an open man. And it's really made the Falcons a team around him. 35 seconds remaining. Williams drives, draws contact, no foul. Punch gets tied up. Possession arrow. We'll keep it with the Whalers.
Timmerman again. Just playing. Timmerman, Reels, Francis. Man, they've given the Falcons some great minutes this half.
Well, I mean, in fairness, I think Robinson, Good, and Francis are the big 3 you expect. But Timmerman, Reels, and Sebastian, as the next 3, have played equal to those other 3. Whereas for the Whalers, there's been 2. We look at who's the next group of guys. Someone's got to emerge. Whalers going to hold for the last shot here. 10 seconds remaining. Williams heads to the basket. Basket is good, and the foul. He slid somehow by Reimer Hernandez, and he's going to shoot the bonus. That is body control from Devin Williams.
Yeah, that's another guy that just knows how to score. He's obviously known as a terrific three-point shooter, but his layup package, finishing package is tremendous, and he's a good free throw shooter as well.
13 points. Now you're going to see some substitutions here for New London with 7 seconds left. They don't want to get anybody with fouls. So they're going to, Ikpasa and Torres will come into the game.
Just got to be careful, though, with all these subs. If you don't, 7 seconds is a lot of time. Don't give up a layup. You want to get out of this half down 9 at worst.
Full court man. Timmerman will now inbound.
He can run the baseline.
Washington's with him. He does. Gets it to Good. Good with Torres on him. Steal by Williams.
Going to confer a lot of action and right in front of the New London bench.
2.4 seconds remaining. It's going to be Fitch's ball.
See what kind of sideline out of bounds play they have here.
Washington will be on Timmerman. Inbound, Good. Runner at the buzzer, no good. We are at halftime, 36-27. The Fitch Falcons with a 9-point lead as we head into halftime. The Sports Doctor's got Coach Charles Salan. Sports Doctor.
Coach, you guys take a 9-point lead into the locker room. What was working for you in the first half?
I thought we played pretty good half-court defense. We're communicating pretty well. We'd like to clean up the offense a little bit and score with more efficiency.
The bench gave you some big minutes that first half, too. How important is that down the stretch?
Richie's been outstanding the last 2 weeks, and he's starting to grow into his role, and it gave us a big lift.
All right, good luck in the second half, Coach. Casey?
Thank you, Sports Doctor. 9-point lead here as J.J. Robinson and the crew knocking them down from all over the place. Calvin Sebastian's 3 has Fitch on top by 9. Well, it's time for the Got It of the Week, brought to you by our folks at CNS Pawn. Go down and see my man Chip and Sock, and you tell them you got it, because you know they're going to want it. Stay tuned for all the action at halftime, and we'll be right back afterwards. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
Oh no, my shoe's untied. Got it! Do you got it?
Yes! Got it!
Got it!
Got it!
Got it!
Rodiger, straightaway 3. Got it!
Hey! Got it! Got it!
The Got It of the Week was brought to you by CNS Pawn. You got it, they want it. Call my guys, 889-PAWN, located in downtown Norwich. Whatever you got, they want. And just like game day, they got it.
Xander is a throwback, something that you would have saw in the 80s. He's your consummate glue guy. Nothing will jump off the stat sheet at you. But at the end of the game, he's got 6 or 7 points. He had a big 3. He's got 4 or 5 steals. He's always in the right place on defense, and he's an effort guy. He's the kid in practice who wins all the sprints. He's the first kid in line every time we do the 4-quarter drill, and he lifts those kids up with energy every night he walks in the gym.
I played a little bit at AAU when I was younger, but really it was my summer of 8th grade when Coach Sylvan actually asked me to start working out with the team, and then ever since I've just been every day going at it.
He brings intensity, whether it's preseason, in-season, postseason, so you can go watch them playing somewhere in the summer, and he brings it. He's the kid who's on the floor on the concrete outside at a AAU event or a summer tournament. You're like, what is this kid doing? And he's parallel to the ground looking like Superman going for a loose ball.
Our practices are very competitive, and you don't really have to be like a big scorer, because we got guys that can do that. So in practices, I just go hard all the time and come up with the little things that are important for when we win.
He's one of those kids where he doesn't care if he ever scores. He just cares that Fitch has 78 and the opponent has 77. That's all that drives him when he's on the court.
I feel like there's a lot of people looking, New London, St. Bernard's, but I feel like for the past couple of years, we've been the team that's always been slept on and not as looked at as much. But I feel like in the upcoming weeks, we'll be the #1 team to look out for.
But that's kind of like you too.
Yeah.
Just like the team gets overlooked, so have you.
Yeah. I feel like I have been overlooked a little bit, but towards the end of the season, I feel like that people will start to know who I really am more on the court.
I originally started off playing soccer when I was a little kid, up until 2nd grade. Then I had moved to Bridgeport when I was younger, new school. I had to adapt to basketball because there was no more soccer. And I've just been playing ever since. I fell in love with the sport.
Soren is Savon Warren.
So when I was really young, before I got here, I was actually playing point guard, shooting guard for my team. I got out here, I was a little bigger. I adapted to playing bigger.
No good, but the tip from Savon Warren.
We're at our best with Savon playing around 15 feet and in, and he's our best rebounder. He's got a very good mid-range shot, very good, and he's confident with it. He doesn't like to always take it. He likes to, drift out to the three-point line sometimes, but, and that's okay. That's fine once in a while, but when he really wants to eat and score a lot of points, he's got to get around that paint area and do damage.
Anything that my coaches tell me, I will eat at for sure, and anything to help the team win. I just want to win.
Troy McKelvin played the 5 his senior year in high school, and he goes to Trinity and he's a point guard, All-American point guard. Dwayne Stallings played inside, never was able to, shoot the 3. And he goes to Conn College and breaks the school record for 3 points. In AAU, you're gonna have the luxury of having the 6'10", 6'8" guys, and Savon can go out and work on his perimeter games during AAU, also practice and things like that.
Warren, and he gets the friendly roll.
But in high school, it's a little different. We don't have that luxury to have a Matt Rollins and a Pete Gittins in there where he can play on the perimeter. So, but he's okay with that.
You got to think of the bigger picture. You got to think of where you're at the moment and make the best of it. I know I'm not going to be a big forever, but on this team, I will play big if that's what it is to win the state championship.
It's time for Game Day's Grade 8 Plays of the Week. At number 8, Bacon Academy's Theo Koutsafavis drives razzle-dazzle behind the back Kevin Claffey with the finish. Hey, do you remember when Ledyard's Zion Bunkley dunked over Juan Morel? Juan Morel remembered, gets him back with a nice dunk over Bunkley. At number 6, the Wyndham girls basketball team is flying. Haley Flores with the steal runs the break. Anaya Jenkins, Asia Harris finishes. That's how it's done. Coach Mangual is pumped. His team punched their ticket to the sun. Ledyard girls basketball. Maggie Dykes with the hard-fought basket. But you know what? The real stars in this game? The Colonel's bench. Dancing, showing the moves. I think I saw the sprinkler. Hey, Coach Mike Morgan. Bow and arrow. At number 4, you know who else can dance? The entire ECC with the Waterford Unified cheerling and AD Chris Landry. Cotton Eye Joe, a high point at the ECC championships. But the championships belonged to East Lyme. The Division I champions, the overall champions. You see the coach cam, they love it. They said they were full throttle, and the whole pyramid packed with elite skills. Everything for the crowd, ending in an incredible full twisting flip. It was all Vikings. The inspiration and motivation came the second he lost the ECC final to Malachi Fowler. In the Class S state championship, Soren Reef got it done. Beats Fowler 4-3, wins the state championship for Class S, and pretty soon there was a hug for Mom. But at number 1, sometimes Montville basketball is just a treat. 4 seconds left, Mom can't watch. Inbound pass, Jack Treat, down 2, floating 3, got it. Wolves win. Let's take another look. Let's give you 3 looks at what can only be described as the high point for the Wolves season. Jack Treat, you're number 1 on the grade 8. Send us your plays, and maybe you can make next week's grade 8.
We're at halftime, and the New London Whalers find themselves down 9 points to the Fitch Falcons in the first of the Division I semifinal games here on Semifinals Saturday in the ECC. Someone's going to have to make an adjustment, and the second half adjustment's brought to you by my guys at Casey Chiropractic. Listen, I am old, I am slow, I am fat, but I am better than I ever was because I go to Casey Chiropractic. They have made me less slow, and they have made me much more athletic, because they believe in full body wellness, whether it's an adjustment, orthotics, getting you right, getting you to understand your health. Casey Chiropractic is the best, located in Colchester, Connecticut. If you want to know anything about how to get better, contact Casey Chiropractic. Hey, Casey goes to Casey, so you got to be doing something right. Juice, what does New London need to do if they're going to make this adjustment in the second half?
First thing they have to do is they have to limit Fitch to 1 shot. They've been getting a lot of extra opportunities, specifically Francis, but Sebastian's got a bunch of offensive rebounds as well. Must limit the Falcons to 1 shot and close them out, cut down on turnovers, and try to find that third scorer. For Fitch, just kind of roll out and kind of do the same thing. They need to tighten things up a little bit on Devin Williams. He has 13 points to lead all scorers. He could easily go for 30-something if he gets rolling, so you want to make sure that you don't let him get going here in this third quarter. First couple minutes will be an important telltale sign to see if the Whalers have made an adjustment with their energy level at halftime.
Starting 5 for both teams start the second half. Robinson, Good, Sebastian, Timmerman, and Francis for the Falcons. Williams, Phillips, Punch, Washington, and Gaskin for the Whalers. Sebastian puts it on the floor, scoop shot, no good. And a nice box out from Washington.
Good stop for New London to start the half.
Pulling in just inside the 3-point line and knocking it down, Caden Simons-Gaskin.
And he was saddled with foul trouble in the first half. Coach Cornish will probably let him rock for most of this half now with the 3 fouls. They need his scoring.
Williams gets the assignment on Good. Good frees up off a screen and promptly knocks down a 3.
That's 12 points now for Xavier Good, leading scorer for Fitch. So again, as Coach Sylvan said, the half-court defense has been good from the Falcons. New London has had to operate a lot of clock every possession.
Boo Boo Phillips hangs over the top of Francis with the left hand. Beautiful move. Boo Boo for 2.
Yeah, nothing you can do about that.
Whalers close. Sebastian can't finish. Look at the hustle from Robinson. Kick back out. Second chance opportunity here for the Falcons.
Another offensive rebound for the Falcons. That was one of my key adjustments New London would have to make.
Francis, good look from Robinson. When he gets down there, no stopping him.
He really is the difference in this Fitch team. When he's playing like that, they are a totally different team, capable of beating anybody in this league or the state.
KK made a play. Cuts the lead to 8.
Yeah, nice drive to the basket. They're going to need him. He's got to stay out of foul trouble. He'll be critical if New London's going to get back into this game.
Robinson tries to answer, but instead he's short. Phillips runs. Ball loose on the floor. Tie up between Punch and Sebastian. Arrow favors the Whalers, so the Whalers get a break. They were running the break with a chance to cut it to 6. Now they have the possession instead.
Sometimes plays like that get the energy level going, diving on the floor.
Got to get it in, and they do to Washington. Williams now drives, hangs, and scores. Best body control in the conference, Devin Williams.
Yeah, well, Xavier Good went for the steal. You got to be disciplined there. That's a risk-reward play, big time. If he gets the steal, he gets the 2. By missing the steal, Williams gets the 2.
It's been down as low as 6. It is again. This is where Fitch has had an answer every time. And a timeout. Falcons. Falcons want to talk things over.
So the adjustments have been, I think, spot on. You know, the Falcons had to make sure that they didn't allow Williams to get going, and there you see they lose track of him, and he gets an easy layup. And the Whalers have to make sure they don't let the Falcons get second chance opportunities. Jacob Francis was able to corral an offensive rebound putback earlier in this quarter. So continuing to work on those 2 things, I think, is what each team needs to do to take control of this game.
Of course, the winner of this one will advance to the finals on Tuesday night at Mohegan Sun. And the winner of tonight's game between the number 1 St. Bernard Saints and the number 4 Waterford Lancers will secure the other spot. Our Division II final is all set. Number 1 Stonington outlasted a very determined Turtelot Tiger team, and they'll take on number 2 Wheeler, who defeated a game Griswold squad in the semifinals earlier today. So number 1 versus number 2. It's been all favorites, total chalk up to this point across both tournaments. We'll see if Fitch can create the first technical upset 3-2. Sports Doctor, you were listening in earlier. What are you hearing from the coaches?
Well, Coach Sylvan just wanted to see him set better screens on the offensive end, Casey. You know, just kind of tighten things up a little bit. Last 2 trips, they didn't get good looks. They weren't freeing guys up, that's all.
Well, with that time, Robinson got to the basket, found Francis, and that's not an easy shot that Francis just made, a kind of contested 6-footer, but he gets it to go, and there's that answer. Every time New London's gotten it to 6, they've had an answer. Washington, a little too strong. That's a great look in the middle of that zone, but he couldn't get it to go.
Francis has 9 for the Falcons.
Robinson finds Francis again. Basket good and the foul. Robinson with beautiful vision, and Francis with the finish.
Make it 11 for number 11.
And we said the Whalers have been able to get it to 6, and after this, it's back to 10. So every time they're able to get to that kind of 6 mark, they're not able to get closer. Fitch has had an answer every time.
And this guy has been a stud tonight.
No good on the free throw, so the lead stays 10.
Fitch back to kind of a zone look here.
Washington, that's there all day. I'd like to see him take 2 steps even closer, but he knocks that one down. Oh, good hands from Washington. Falcons getting a little sloppy here, but here goes Good. He pulls up for 3. That's no good. And get a foul, I believe if it's against Virtue, and it is.
I'm curious to see what Fitch is playing on defense. Might be some kind of junk defense here. They had left Washington wide open, almost daring him to shoot that last possession.
He's made 2 out of 3 from there.
It's not just a traditional 2-3 zone, though.
Phillips picks up the dribble. Inside, Washington goes by Virtue, hangs in the air, and nice step and the finish from Julius Washington, and we're back to 6 again.
Yeah, 2 very good possessions from New London. Washington delivering much-needed points.
And that's where Robinson might be a little overzealous. To quote the philosopher Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park, you were so busy trying to decide if it could be done, you didn't ask if it should be done.
Well said. A different look here, Fitch, in this zone defense.
Straightaway three, no good from Simons Gaskin, and we're gonna get a foul on Sebastian because Williams had fabulous position, and at first glance you were thinking that may have been a foul on Williams, but no, he's the one that had the position, so
Yeah.
Sebastian over the top.
Yeah, he used Williams as a step stool, so to speak. Incredible rebound, though, with one hand. One hand, one arm.
That was like 3/4 of the way down for
Yes.
Simons Gaskin, too, which would have been a huge three to get them within a possession. Phillips picks up from the baseline. Washing, that's short. And a great rebound by Sebastian. He went up and got that one.
A much different team on the floor when Sebastian's in.
Floater, no good. Simons Gaskin with the rebound. Smartly. Williams forgoes a three, pulls it back, takes it again, and knocks it down. D. Will with a triple, and it's a one-possession game. They finally got it on the other side of 6.
Yeah, the big shot fake got Francis in the air, stepped to the side, and that's like a foul shot for him when he's open like that.
Good, tries to answer, no good. Tipped, no good. Tipped again, no good. And out of the pack comes Phillips. Punch drives, kicks out. Williams, no good. And Francis, after all that with the rebound, the Whalers so close, but more importantly, Simons Gaskin with a bad foul, his 4th, and his energy has been vital in this third period.
He's begging Coach Cornish, I'm good, but with 1:11 in the third, you can't take that risk.
No, I think you're going to see him out till maybe 6 minutes.
Yep.
If they can stay close the rest of the third, first couple minutes, and then you're just going to say, we're going to go as long as we can with you. But if they're down 3. If they're down 6 or 7 at the end of this period, he may start the 4th, and they may just have to run with it.
Francis out of the game right now, so that is interesting substitution for Fitch as well.
Virtue out too. This is the smallest Falcon team you're going to see. But 3 shooters on the floor. Robinson's going to draw the foul on Hall. Now, I want to be clear, I am not calling J.J. Robinson a flopper. What I am suggesting is he has the absolute best facial and body contortions of any kid in the league. You feel like he got fouled because he really, and I don't think it's fake. I just think he knows how to make his body show proof of the foul. How's that?
Yeah, I like that explanation. Like I said, he's so fearless that he just goes right into the contact.
And 4 free throw misses from Robinson, which is uncharacteristic.
Fitch has got to watch Williams. He's starting to lock in here.
Punch, finds Washington, offensive foul, and that one, Calvin Sebastian telegraphed and lured in Washington, and he drew it.
Yeah, those are championship plays, and if you can teach your players to stand in and take contact like that, those are the plays that make a difference in close games.
34 seconds remaining, shot clock off. Falcons can have the last shot if they want it. We'll see. Robinson, Giancopoulos, Good, Francis, and Reels. Robinson spins, hangs, blocked by Washington. Up ahead, Williams, left hand, no good, tip, no good. Washington blocked by Francis. And then Robinson goes to the ground. And they're going to get Hall with a bump.
Couple things there. You know me, I want the last shot. So, you know, JJ thought that he can take it on that last possession, but how about the great eraser, Jacob Francis, giving off the Marcus Camby to Kimbe Mutombo vibes, blocking the shot attempt and giving the Falcons a chance to finish the quarter with points.
I like the Camby one. That's a great reference. The springy length, absolutely, where he can block a shot from anywhere. I like the Camby one. That one actually resonated. Robinson's missed 5 straight free throws, which might be the first time in his career that's ever happened. That one right there for him is just like, okay, good, it does still go in the basket. 4 points. Hall's got some trouble. Phillips has it, 6 seconds. Phillips with a 3. Greg Keith called the foul.
I think he's going to say 2. Oh, it is 3. Yes. You're correct, Casey.
So Phillips will go to the line to shoot 3 with 1.4 seconds remaining. He can make this anywhere from a 1-possession game to a 1-point game, depending on how he does from the line.
That's a tough one because Fitch had 2 fouls to give, Casey, which means they could have fouled Boo Boo while he was dribbling. But they waited to foul him in the act of shooting. A cardinal sin. Coach Curlin would be pulling out the few hairs that he had left.
And blaming you.
And blaming me, yes. Do not foul jump shooters.
Well, that means that it's going to be a 1-possession game. The question is going to be whether it's 3 or 2. He can't cut it all the way to 1. 1.4 seconds remaining. The Falcons can get a decent shot off, depending on if they get a rebound or if it's a made basket hit. In and out, no good. Robinson with a rebound. He's not even going to try. We're at the end of 3. Whalers cut into the lead, but the Falcons still up 3. 4th quarter action on the other side. It could be a good one. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
Here at Game Day, we're proud to bring you unrivaled video coverage of local high school sports, all of it free for you to watch. These videos are not free for us to produce them. If you'd like to ensure that we can keep covering your school and your teams, there's a few ways that you can support us. Go over to patreon.com/theday and sign up to make a small recurring contribution. Think of it as a tip to the Game Day crew for what they do. Want to show your support in a more visible way? Hit up our merch store and pick up some Game Day gear in your school colors. Our camera operators are always looking for those shirts and hoodies in the crowd, and you may see yourself on our next live stream. We get a lot of support from businesses in our community, and if you'd like to join them as a sponsor, send us a message and we can connect you with our advertising staff. Finally, The Day is the organization behind everything we do here at Game Day. If you want to support The Day's community journalism, consider a print or digital subscription at theday.com/subscribe.
Three-point Falcons lead as we head to the 4th quarter. Coach, talk a little bit about what we need to see from New London and from Fitch into the 4th quarter.
Yeah, I think New London has finally found that energy button. They're playing with a lot more urgency. Getting Devin Williams the ball and getting him clean looks obviously is going to help their cause. But they still need to limit Fitch to 1 shot. For the Falcons, they need to continue to, they've played a very clean game. They need to continue to execute and not make those decisions that come back and lead to transition opportunities for the Whalers.
Offensive foul. They're going to get Robinson on the illegal screen. That's going to be 3 on Robinson.
That's not a good start. You have the ball to start the quarter, you commit an offensive foul, and that's one of your best players is now saddled with 3. 2
of the 3 things that make it worse, right? So, you lost the possession arrow only to turn it over, and your point guard gets his 3rd foul. Now comes part 3. Don't let them convert it into points.
Right.
If you do, then you're going to be really upset because, oh, big block. Francis says, no converting. Let's go the other way. And out of bounds off of punch
Yeah,
so they did at least do it didn't turn into a basket.
Yeah, once again, they called Camby the human eraser at UMass, and Francis is absolutely playing. I love how he goes up with straight two hands and blocks shots almost like a volleyball block.
Robinson's back iron three, no good, but look at Francis get the rebound. Good step, three, short, punch with the rebound. Williams, other direction, and the Whalers are within within one.
20 for Devin Williams, leads all scorers. When he's going north-south like that, it's unstoppable. Can Fitch get over the hump, Casey? So many times they've been in these semifinals, haven't been to a final.
Francis goes over the top, punch held his ground, and there's another foul against the Falcons.
Haven't been to a final in the Coach Sylvan era, although he's time and time again put his team into position. Now it's the fourth quarter. They have to be able to make plays to close this out.
Well, it's funny because the top three teams in Division I, the Falcons, the Whalers, and the Saints, are all young. They're all loaded with young talent. It's not going to be easy to get to the finals. Punch. Williams, step back three. No good. Rebound, Sebastian, and the Falcons will run Robinson. So it's not going to be easy to get to the finals. You're always going to have a semifinal with somebody really good. Robinson over the top of punch, no. Great box out from Phillips to keep Francis away. Boo-boo, blocked. Francis is denying everything.
My goodness. From the cheap seats in the X came Jacob Francis out of nowhere, running the court as a trailer.
Timeout, New London. It's a full. We'll take a quick break. 1 point Falcon lead. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
All that is good begins with a smile. At Waterford Dental Health, your smile is our top priority. Our entire team is dedicated to providing you with the personalized, gentle care that you deserve. Part of our commitment to serving our patients includes providing information that helps them to make more informed decisions about their oral health needs. Our website is a resource we hope you'll find both useful and interesting. Contact us today at waterforddentalhealth.com.
Coach Dave Cornish imploring his team. They've been trailing for quite a while. They were down as many as double digits, but they got it to within one. They are now with the basketball and a chance to take the lead as we head down the stretch of the fourth quarter. The sports doctor was listening into the New London huddle. What did you hear from Coach Cornish?
Well, it's rebound to basketball on both ends of the floor. No second shots for them, and let's create extra scoring opportunities for ourselves. He likes the energy. He likes the pressure. We climbed the ladder. Now let's get over the hump. Very positive stuff out in the London huddle.
With a little over a minute remaining in the third period, Caden Simons-Gaskin got his fourth foul. We saw him go to the bench, and we speculated the 6-minute mark would be about when we would see him again if New London could stay within three. They've got it to one, and with 6:13, he's back in the game until this thing's over or until he gets his fifth. He is such an important part of what they do. He was emerging as that guy when he got his fourth. Let's see what they run here. Down one. Into punch. Finds Washington, but it's on the floor. And we're going to get a tie-up. And it's going to favor New London.
That was interesting because he fully rolled and he gained territory. He gained real estate on that roll. I thought that should have been a travel, but that's why I'm behind the camera.
Yeah, I have a personal. By rule, you're right. Okay, by rule, you're right. It absolutely should have been a travel. Williams pulls up, 15 feet, in and out. Phillips gets the rebound, pulls up from the free throw line, too strong. Washington spins, hangs over Francis, and draws the foul. Julius Washington working on the boards, and the Whalers will go to the line with a chance to take the lead.
So just like Sports Doctor said, Coach Cornish said we got to get ourselves some extra opportunities, and that time a second, a third chance, and they finally get the foul on Francis when he attempted to block the shot. Now some big free throws.
First one is up, and we're tied. So while by letter of the law, you're right, that's a travel, I hate that call. When there's bodies on the floor, it's just go to the jump. It's a jump ball because it's just such a mess. I don't like the idea that there's any possession ever down there. It's just, I don't even like when a guy falls to the ground that it's a travel. I get why it is, but I'm like, you know, as long as you're not gaining ground down there, let him be. We're all tied up, brand new ball game with 5:45 remaining. Robinson drives to the basket, pulls up the dribble. Good drives to the basket now. Wild shot, no good, and Washington asserting himself on both ends of the floor. Phillips drives, left hand no good, punch no good, and Sebastian clears.
London has really tightened up their man-to-man in the half court.
Francis was in no man's land when he got it, missed it underneath. Who's gonna break the seal at 46-46?
Fitch has only scored 1 point in the last 5 minutes, Casey. So they really need to get something easy. Starts with a stop here.
Whalers looking to take the lead. Stripped from behind by Reels. Robinson up ahead, and the Falcons back on top 2.
There's that something easy.
Timeout, Fitch.
So it looked like Williams just lost it. I didn't think, we'll have to see if we get a replay. If somebody tipped it, I think he just lost it, and Fitch, Johnny on the spot, was able to get the ball and JJ out with the run out. They desperately needed something easy. The New London man-to-man defense has really tightened up in the last few minutes, and Fitch is not getting any easy looks.
Sports Doctor was over on the Fitch huddle. We see there, no, Reels definitely got a hand on it.
Yep.
And then Gaskin has the 4 fouls. Sports Doctor, what's Coach saying in the huddle?
First thing he says is, let's take a deep breath and let's calm down. He said, let's calm down. We got a 2-point lead, and he said they're killing us on the boards. We have to make sure we close out and find a body on a body when they take a shot. So everything right now is rebounding, 50-50 balls, and execution. But again, Coach Schuster, you've been in that spot. Take a deep breath and relax.
Great advice. Thanks, Sports Doctor. Great advice. And yeah, the game, Casey's going to come down to those, how the ball bounces sometimes. You got to go and get those rebounds, but on those 50-50 balls, sometimes the ball just spins a certain way. So, man, we're in for a wild finish. Plenty of time, too. 4:46. That's an eternity. Wouldn't be surprised if this game ends in the 60s, honestly.
2 timeouts apiece. It's funny. It's not only the message, hey, take a deep breath and relax. It's how you say it. I had a youth coach call a timeout once, sat us on the bench and looked at us and screamed at the top of his lungs, "Would you relax? Would you relax?" and I was like, I think it might have had a little something go down my leg. But Coach Sylvan was the opposite. He said, hey guys, take a nice, your mental state affects your kid's mental state as far as how the message is delivered. And he's cool as ice when he's delivering the message.
Pitching man-to-man here. London satisfied to take their time. They want to get Williams a shot.
Washington has it, drives to the basket. Blocked by Sebastian and Francis. Break for the Whalers, however, as I believe they say he was on the line, or are they calling the foul? What are we doing here? On the line, so it'll stay Whaler basketball.
And that should not reset because there was no possession gains. If you get the ball out of bounds, you never gain possession.
2 seconds on the shot clock, if that's true.
If they felt that Francis, so they must have felt that Francis had possession and then stepped out of bounds, or Sebastian rather.
I think he had possession and then
stepped out of bounds.
I think it was the bounce.
Got it.
I think he had the possession and on that dribble.
Big break for New London.
Huge 35-second shot clock in effect. Lob to Washington. Robinson, now he kicks the punch. Punch challenges Francis, gets the friendly roll, and we're tied at 48.
Went right at the shot blocker. Iron sharpens iron.
Robinson drives, and we're going to get a travel. Whalers have done an outstanding job on his dribble penetration.
They have clamped down. Clamped down. Fitch, once again, needs to get things easy. Starts with a defensive stop. Get out in transition.
Conversely, New London hasn't had the lead in forever. This has been such an uphill climb. What would a lead do for the mentality of the Whalers? Out of bounds. Robinson knocks it out, and it'll stay Whaler basketball.
Well, right now, they're playing with a lot of positive body language. They feel like this is their game.
See what they get off the inbounds. Cutter, Williams, hangs in the air, blocked by Francis. Williams gets it back. 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Unofficially 7 blocks for Jacob.
Williams goes left. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Timeout, New London.
Yes.
1 on the shot clock when he called the timeout. 48-48. Full timeout for the Whalers. With 3:13 remaining in a 48-48 game, we're going to take a quick break and come back with the finish of the Division I semifinal game here at the X. You're watching Game Day Live on theday.com.
Being part of a great community is so important. People helping and supporting others can be very uplifting and contagious. At Philomena's Restaurant, that's exactly what you get. It's the community hub for not just Waterford, but all of southeastern Connecticut. Birthday parties, anniversary dinners, weddings, sports banquets, a drink with friends, and of course, charity events. Philomena's has been, is, and will always be there for the community. Celebrate and support southeastern Connecticut at Philomena's. Philomena's, Utopia Plaza in Waterford.
48-48. New London calls a timeout. It might prove costly. They have 1 left, a 30-second timeout remaining. The Falcons still have 2, and we're heading down the stretch. The Whalers will have it, but there is 1 second on the shot clock.
Well, if they make a shot here, then it's the smartest timeout in the history of high school basketball.
I happen to think a timeout should reset the shot clock, because you've expended capital to get the shot clock.
It's not a bad. It resets the 10-second violation in the backcourt, so it's not a bad theory.
So a timeout, you waste a timeout. Lob to Phillips, and nothing there. They're going to say no, and it's going to be Falcon basketball, or what? From the side, because the ball was never touched and sailed out of bounds. I would even suggest if you want to take a full, you can reset the shot clock. 30 seconds and you don't. Like, that to me makes it strategic for a coach.
I like that.
Little weave action by the Falcons. Reels Robinson.
Like to see Fitch go back to that high ball screen. Put New London in a situation where they have to guard.
There it is. Good backs out. They double him. He finds Sebastian in a timeout. Falcons, as the shot clock for them is at 13.
And now they're down to 1 timeout after this full timeout by the Falcons.
They're also going to take a full timeout. We're going to keep it here, though, for this one. 48 all, both teams now with a 30-second timeout only. And both teams really struggling on the offensive end to come up with a good shot, and they try to break this tie.
Yeah, they did set the high ball screen that time, but they set it with Sebastian, who brought a guard with him. So they want to bring Francis up there to get Punch out there. Put Punch in that defensive action. Make him make a decision and look to run the pick and roll off that. If you're going to run pick and roll action, if you can set up a play here where you're going to get somebody coming off an off-ball screen for an open 3, Coach Bassett's really good at designing those types of plays out of timeouts. Let's see what Coach Sylvan has up his sleeve.
Sports Doctor, you've been chiming in. What's going on?
You know, that timeout was not, let's all take a deep breath and relax. It's, come on, let's execute. So a little upset with that half-court set. So definitely a sense of urgency in the Fitch huddle.
2 minutes and 50 seconds remaining, and I think that's the energy he wants right now. He was like, let's stop being passive, right? And that high screen that you just saw is a good example of that. He does not like the passivity that they're doing off of these high screens. He wants to see them attack that.
Well, New London trapped that last ball screen, and luckily they were able to get out of it, and Sebastian had a wide open foul line jumper, and that's when they called the timeout.
Here's that weave again. Now Reels and Sebastian. They're looking for a Whaler switch and a mismatch. Sebastian can't get it to go, but he gets his own rebound as the shot clock expired. New 35. Reels for three. Good! Sakis is Reels. Falcons lead by 3.
What a clutch shot. 11 for Reels.
Washington at the elbow. Picks his dribble up. Simons Gaskin blocked by Francis.
Get it out of here. That is unofficially number 8 for Jacob.
.13 on the clock. Williams picks his dribble up. I thought he was going to let that 3 fly. We're under 2 minutes. This time he does. Top of the key. Back iron, no good. Punch. Knocks it out of bounds, and the Falcons will have it up 3.
And Francis left his man to come help. He got his long arm in the way. I don't know if it made an effect, but it resulted in a missed shot. Plenty of time with the shot clock, though. New London can just play a good defensive possession here. Don't have to do anything crazy. Don't have to foul. Just get a stop.
New London with no fouls in the quarter. Robinson, soft touch, gets him up 5.
That's only JJ's 9th, but couldn't have come at a more opportune time. New London now getting close to desperation time. They need a basket.
Phillips, left hand, no good. Washington with the rebound, put back, and he'll draw the foul. He'll go to the line with a chance to cut into the 5-point lead.
Yeah, Coach Cornish was hoping that that would be the and one. Francis once again was there to try and swat it. He's been playing great basketball.
Washington knocks the first one down.
So now, as you said, Casey, New London has no fouls. They're going to have to start taking some chances. And New London only has one timeout, so he can't, like, design something. He's just probably going to have to hack right out of this inbounds here.
And you can't sub to do the fouls because you can't guarantee that you're going to get those guys off the floor either. They just got to rely on the shot clock and a good defensive possession.
This is risky because they're down 3, so you're going to take your chances letting Fitch use this clock. I wouldn't do it myself, but I'm not coaching.
Robinson draws 3. Good with a bomb 3. Got it! Zay is good. And the Falcons up 6. A dagger from the X-Man.
When it came down to crunch time, 2 huge 3-point shots by Fitch. They needed to make plays to close out this game. They weren't going to be able to close out this game just, running their standard offense and hoping that New London would give it to them. They needed to step up and make big shots. Reels the first one a moment ago, and then the X-Man, Xavier Good. As good a guard that this conference has.
And that was from as deep as you're going to see a 3. That was from almost out of bounds. But when the moment gets big, sometimes kids can respond in big ways, and this is not his first rodeo. Zay Good knows what the pressure's like. Semifinals Saturday here at Waterford High School. The Fitch Falcons are 37 seconds away from heading to the Mohegan Sun.
So New London needs a quick basket, and then they need to foul. Now,
Williams, no good. Punch, no good.
Foul,
Reels with the rebound.
Need to foul.
Oh, look at Zay Good, eludes it. Time winding down and running out on the Whalers.
Yeah, and that's why that last possession, when Fitch was able to walk the ball up and New London decided that they were just going to play straight up 3. I know it's a 50-50 call, because if you get a stop, then you got 35 seconds to make a 3. I just think, you want to extend the game. Still not over. Fitch got to get the ball in bounds, and they'll use their last one.
Last timeout taken by Fitch. It'll be a 30-second timeout. Of course, you don't want to go anywhere, because we still have the 6 o'clock nightcap between the number 1 St. Bernard Saints and the number 4 Waterford Lancers. The first ticket to the Division I final is 6 points away from the Falcons punching it. Of course, the Saints and the Lancers tonight for spot number 2 in the D1 championship on Tuesday from the Sun. But it's been a long road. The Falcons have had some ups and downs this year, and they're very close to getting to that elusive final for Coach Sylvan and the Fitch Falcons.
Yeah, they've been competitive year after year under Coach's leadership. They really have kind of toned down the helter-skelter defense this year. They're really more of a straight-up man team. They're not playing that run and jump and helter-skelter kind of basketball. It's really like strap in, stop and lock down the defender, get stops, execute on offense, and it's really worked so far this season. But great contributions from the bench tonight. Reels and Timmerman. And of course, some of the lesser known players like Francis and Sebastian have been so crucial.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, Francis has been the player of this game. 9 to 10 blocks, made his free throws, made his baskets, and every time New London got close, he had an answer. I mean, this is a kid coming off of an injury where he missed a huge portion of the season, and to make this much of an impact in the semifinals is really, we talked about the difference. The top 2 guys on both sides doing their job. I would suggest that New London did a fabulous job on Xavier Good, holding him 10 points below his average. Francis has been the difference maker, and Francis really is the player of the game.
And when Fitch beat New London back on January 12th, a game we had on the day, 84-67, it really wasn't even that close.
Phillips with a steal, finishes with a left hand, gets it to within 4, but the Falcons have it in control here. Whalers foul.
Still one more till they're in the bonus. Remember, without New London doesn't have any timeouts, so Fitch doesn't even have to inbound the ball if New London makes a basket with under 5 seconds left.
Yeah, since it's a 2-possession game, there's nothing they can do about it. There's the foul on Good, so he'll go to the line. He'll shoot 2. And it, really doesn't matter if he makes.
No.
Because New London has to hit a 3, and then the clock runs out anyway.
They would have to make a shot before the
5
second mark. But back to that January 12th game, Casey, the blowout that Fitch had over New London, it started with Jacob Francis planting a flag in the paint and saying, I own this tonight. I own this portion of the paint tonight. And it really made New London think about every time they drove to the basket. And I think that wore on them. They were able to get right back into this game, and it really came down to a couple of three-pointers that the Falcons were able to make down the stretch. But for Fitch to be in that position in the first place, it started with the modern-day eraser man, Jacob Francis.
Clock running out. Gaskin throws up a 3, knocks it down, but the Falcons don't even need to inbound. And here's your final score, 57-55. The Fitch Falcons win the rubber match with the New London High School Whalers, and they will advance to Tuesday night's final at the Mohegan Sun. Congratulations to the number 3 seed Falcons as they have gotten to the final stages. Championship attempt Tuesday night from the Sun for the Whalers. they will play Bloomfield at home. They beat Bloomfield by 40 points right after Christmas before New Year's. And if they manage to win 2 games, they could be at number 2 Windsor in the quarterfinals, a rematch of the classic overtime game that started our year at the Holiday Classic. We'll be right back with the interview with Coach Sylvan and our player of the game. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
I came here in 1992 not knowing a soul, and I started a law practice in New London. The community has supported us ever since. Thank you. Game Day athletes, playing high school sports is going to be one of the best experiences of your life. I know you give 100% effort and you treat your teammates, your opponents, and your coaches and officials with respect. Are you doing the same in school? Are you showing up every day and giving 100% effort? Are you giving the respect to your classmates, your teachers, and your parents? Sure, winning is great, and give it your best today when you go out on that field. But never forget, getting a good education will be the best game you'll ever play in your life.
Sports Doctor has a very happy coach and group of Falcons after their semifinal win. Sports Doctor.
Well, a happy group of Falcons indeed. Coach, you guys have punched a ticket to Mohegan Sun for Tuesday night. You talk about the 50-50 hustle plays. That's what led to the big 3 in the corner that put you guys in the lead.
Yes, we talked about that all year, that it's not one shot or any one play in particular, but it's going to be a skirmish or a scramble, and then a layup or a shot out of that scramble. So it's going to be a decider in a semifinal, either in the ECC or the state, to get to a final.
Coach, they made a run. They tied the game up. You know they're really good. How do you feel your team responded with that?
They responded like champions. They bowed their neck and they fought back and they stood up to the test.
And it's not easy playing this league. You've seen this team, 11 times in the last 3 years?
Not much. They're a very good team, deeply talented, full of great players. You know, it's a great challenge that they present. We're very fortunate to get out with the win tonight.
I'm sure it feels good to be playing on Tuesday night. We could have chosen anybody, but our player of the game tonight is Jacob Francis. Jacob, 11 points, 8 blocks, and a handful of rebounds. Talk about your down-low presence by the rim tonight.
We just played with energy, that's it. We came ready, we knew what was coming, we just played, that's it.
Now, their athleticism didn't bother you. You were kind of like the Kembe Mutombo out there, not on my watch. Do you like that role of being enforcer?
Hell yeah, I do. It's my court, my court.
My court. And this team's not done yet, is it? You ready for Tuesday night?
We got St. Bernard's on the way.
Well, one of the best teams in the league to start the season, the Fitch Falcons. We'll see you at Tuesday night at the Mohegan Sun.
Thank you, Sports Doctor. Well, we're not done here yet either. About a half an hour away from tip-off of the second semifinal between the number 1 St. Bernard Saints and the number 4 Waterford Lancers. On semifinal Saturday here at the X at Waterford High School. So for everybody from Game Day, come on back in a half an hour and check out our second semifinal, and let's find out who our final team in the championship Tuesday night is. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
The following is a presentation of The Day.
February 26th of the year 2022 was the last time the St. Bernard Saints lost an Eastern Connecticut Conference basketball game. The opponent, the Waterford Lancers. The situation, the semifinals of the ECC tournament. The location, the Francis X. Sweeney Fieldhouse. Tonight, nearly 2 years to the day, the Lancers and the Saints meet again at the X in the semifinals of the ECC Boys Division I tournament. The winner goes to the Mohegan Sun Tuesday night to play the Fitch Falcons, and all the action is live on Game Day. Game Day is brought to you by Waterford Dental Health. All that is good begins with a smile, and at Waterford Dental Health, your smile is our top priority. Our entire team is dedicated to providing you with the personalized dental care you deserve, so contact us today at waterforddentalhealth.com. Casey O'Neill, along with the coach, Chris Giusti, and it's a special kind of game when you're the number one seed and you got to play essentially a road game in the semifinals where the clock doesn't look the same, the scoreboard doesn't look the same, you're on a weird bench, all of that's in play. Sounds a little bit familiar to me, Juice. Do you have any experience in this matter?
Yeah, fortunately, I was in this position 4 years ago, the 2020 ECC tournament semifinals. I brought my Norwich Free Academy team in here as the number one seed, and we also had not lost a game in the ECC that season, and we had to face the standard for competitiveness in the league. The Waterford Lancers, always well coached and always have a home court advantage. So that's what the Saints will be up against tonight. I think if they can get the first couple shots to fall and exhale, and I think it'll be off and running. Waterford's going to have to do a lot right to get past this juggernaut. I think we're starting to take this St. Bernard run for granted. It's at 28 games and counting that they've won in ECC play, and they don't do it too flashy, Casey. They just get it done.
Well, speaking of not flashy, but getting it done, the Sports Doctor, what do you got?
Hey, Casey, thanks a lot. Like old times here at the X, Lancer Nation, full house here, backs turned, the opponents turn starting lineups. What a great matchup tonight. Waterford comes here, a little bit of a high, big win against Coach Giusti's NFA Wildcats, looking to make a mark, get back to the Mohegan Sun. And obviously St. Bernard's the standard, defending state champs, and the ECC champs on a roll, haven't lost in a long time. Styles determine fights. Which team can impose their style and will win tonight's ball game?
Thank you, Sports Doctor. Well, one of the things of interest is how the St. Bernard Saints have evolved. Of course, Amir Gray, the premier player in the conference in many respects. But if you're looking out there right now at that group right there, you see number 3, Ty Gridgen. He has gotten better and better all through his freshman year and throughout his sophomore year, to the point where head coach Mark Jones says, I have to find ways to keep him on the court. I just can't take him off. Now that puts the Saints in a unique situation where they've got Naz Rembert and Amari Marshall coming off the bench. They've got such depth, does this Saints group. Waterford, not as deep, but when you have the big three of Parker Spencer and Juan Morel and Jordy Cassar, those three can match up with any three.
And when you have the big 6'10" with a 7-foot wingspan frame of Juan Morel, you have a chance if he can play lights out and dominate inside tonight.
He wins the tip. Waterford will have the first possession, and they promptly turn it over, and then it gets back into the Lancers' hands. Spencer, Lombardi, Kramer, Morel, all on the floor, along with Cassar. Cassar, of course, the sharpshooter. Spencer, the point guard that irritates everyone he plays, and he takes such great pride on being that irritant. His game backs up his attitude. He is fearless and ruthless and terrifying in how relentless a pest he can be. He and Amir Gray have had some great matchups already this year.
The Saints open man-to-man. The Lancers open man-to-man.
Kick out. Grudgeon for 3. Back iron. High rebound. Look at Morel. go way in the air for it, but he comes down, and they'll get him with a travel. See, that's a good example. I don't like that travel. It's a rule. It's the right call. I just don't like that. You go to the ground. He should be able to get rid of the ball. But I'm not on the rules committee, or else the world would be a better place. McKelvin. Kurt Marshall with the runner, no good, and Morrell up high. And if Waterford's going to compete, he needs to have about 20 of those.
Yeah, and check that. Waterford was in 2-3 zone, not man-to-man.
Can we call it a matchup zone so that it's kind of like man-to-man?
We can.
Gray, great defense. And I had said off air, to me, the story of tonight isn't the Saints' offense. Defensively, with Amari Marshall back and Gridgen in the starting lineup, defensively, they have become suffocating.
Yeah, and that's Coach Jones's calling card. He always says, I'm going to give you freedom on offense, but if you don't play defense, you're sitting.
Morrell to Kassar. Kassar challenges Marshall, and Marshall says, no thank you, and out of bounds off of Kassar.
And one of the things that Waterford's really good at is moving the ball around the perimeter and finding open shooters for three. And one of the things that St. Bernard's is really good at is finding shooters and suffocating them on the perimeter. So something's going to have to give.
Gray crosses over. McKelvin drives baseline, finds Mangual, blocked by Morrell. Waterford out and running. Kassar stripped by Gridgen. Three in and out, rebound McKelvin.
And if that went down, the house would have came down. Good start from Juan Morrell, though. We saw in the first game what a shot blocker can do.
Long three. The bank is open, the bank of Amir Gray. Withdrawal of three, and the Saints are on top.
That lets the Saints exhale a little bit.
And off the hands of Morrell, out of bounds, Saints basketball.
So you see the strategy, Casey, that, and St. Bernard did this against Woodstock as well. They want to press, they want to speed Waterford up and make them have to decide what they're going to do faster than normal.
Gray finds his spot at the elbow, pull up, no good. Another rebound for Morrell.
It's a good start for Big Juan.
Spencer pulls up for three, no good. Gray, up ahead it goes to Gridgen. Mangual for three, back iron. Good block out by Kassar. Waterford's gonna run with the Saints. Gridgen strips Kramer's pocket. Gray.
Incredible reverse layup using the rim to protect from the length of Morrell.
In the corner, three ball, Kassar, good!
You can't do that. That's what Spencer does so well. He draws attention in the paint and he finds shooters on the perimeter. St. Bernard has to stay at home on those shooters and not help off of their man.
McKelvin spots up for three, no good. Marshall, offensive rebound. Gray, another long three, good! Amir Gray's been taking more threes of late, and if he's knocking those down, it has a whole new dimension to the Saints' offense.
Yeah, and also Waterford has to limit the Saints to one shot. Morrell cannot let Kurt Marshall get offensive rebounds, and now his brother Amari's in the game as well.
And let me just say very briefly, welcome back, Amari Marshall. It's good to see you back on game day, and happy to have you in this ball game. Trap, Kassar pulls it up, and he'll give it back to Spencer. And Morrell never really had it. Turnover to the Saints.
And Morrell on the wing there is not ideally where you want him.
Good officiating crew as well. Tim Viveris, Sergio Lewis, Roger Warner. Grudgeon.
Looks like Waterford's going back to man-to-man now.
Gray with a screen from Kurt Marshall.
Good defense by Morrell.
Yep. McKelvin, though, in the paint, draws the foul. Little bully ball. Troy McKelvin Jr. is going to go to the line, and an early lead for the Saints.
And it's important to note that, you know, this St. Bernard team that has been a juggernaut all season long starts 2 freshmen, a sophomore, and 2 juniors. No seniors.
No, the only senior that gets any real significant playing time is Colin O'Leary, and, you know, he's a glue guy for them, defensive specialist, energy guy off the bench. But Coach Jones, all year long, has been looking for the rotation that makes sense. Rembert coming off the bench where he can be like that Vinnie Johnson microwave, you know, come in, and if the first 2 threes go down, keep feeding Nas, right? You know, you know that's a good role for him. Marshall coming off the bench gives them some length and you know, an all-state caliber player coming off the bench. And the maturation of McKelvin and Kurt Marshall has been remarkable. But he's been trying to find that group, not just the starting group, right, but the group for all the segments of the game. Grudgeon, beautiful look to McKelvin, and it's a 10-point lead for the Saints, and they're going to pressure.
And they've been locked in on defense here, creating a lot of turnovers. There's another one.
That pass is too tall, even for Juan Morrell.
The frustration here from Waterford, might need a timeout.
Quinn Speller's going to check into the ball game for Waterford. He'll give Lombardi a breather, and that's going to make about as long a lineup as Waterford tends to have.
Something bothering Parker Spencer's
Got
hands.
cut on his hand, so they just got to throw the wrap on it real quick.
It's bothering him.
Gray, Amari Marshall for 3, no good.
Grudgeon a little too anxious there.
Foul away from the basket there at half court.
We saw in the East Catholic game that we broadcasted, the St. Bernard East Catholic round 2, the emergence of Grudgeon as a man-to-man defender. He was guarding Samson Riley a lot. He has some strength when he's able to move laterally, but also has some strength to be able to take contact.
And it was in that game where I think Coach Jones realized that him in the starting lineup was a different look that they liked. Kramer got the rebound. Speller for 3. Yes! Quinn Speller gets it to go.
And that's what Waterford fell behind early the other night against NFA and just kept chipping away, shooting threes, and they can make threes in a flurry and get right back into it.
McKelvin open look 3 from the wing, short. Amari Marshall is stripped by Spencer. Waterford looking to run. Spencer can fly all the way to the basket. Dipsy-do for 2.
He's going to be an exciting player. He's only a 10th grader. Plays fearlessly.
Oh, look at the ball movement. And ultimately, Grudgeon is fouled. And he'll go to the line and shoot 2. But the Saints had 4 different players touch the basketball there.
Yeah, they want to run. They want to play fast. They're utilizing this 1-2-2 full court press, trapping the corner, trying to get the tempo, moving fast in their favor. They're deeper than Waterford. They haven't even utilized O'Leary or Rembert yet.
That one's in and out. Here on the mark. Here comes Nas Rembert into the ball game. Also Matt Champagne into the game for Waterford.
Saints shooting into a formidable student section made up of Waterford and Fitch student members.
Grudgeon misses both. Now this is the smallest Saint lineup you're going to see. 3 guards on the floor with the Marshalls. Although Grudgeon's a big guard, it's still 3 guards. Spencer drives, great defense. Now Speller loses it, but it goes off of Rembert, so it'll stay with Waterford.
The Lancers weathered the first storm. It looked like St. Bernard was going to get out big, but it's only 5.
Spencer off the glass, long 3, no good. Speller with a floater, no good. Kurt Marshall pushing it up ahead to Rembert. Rembert traveled, never really had possession, it didn't look like, but
it was the shoes.
It's got to be the shoes.
And Waterford's also getting some offensive rebounds, some second chance points, so that's good as well. So Waterford hanging tough here in this first quarter.
Amir Gray is about as good as anybody at anticipating and stepping in to where when you receive a pass and you're about to put the ball on the floor, he's got great anticipation. We see him step into those passes so often.
And the quickest hands. He would be dominant in the Old West.
And we're going to get a foul here.
Nope. A turnover, I think, Casey.
I saw the whistle. You're right, out of bounds. Turnover. It'll go over to St. Bernard's. How about almost 1,300 here at the X tonight for this second semifinal? Good crowd.
Yeah, nice student sections behind each basket.
Gray, now Grudgeon. High post, Marshall kicks to Rembert. Nice look, diagonal, and Grudgeon finishes. Great look from Amari Marshall. Boy, are they hounding Spencer. 3-on-2 now. Great hands by Kurt Marshall. Grudgeon for 3, no good. Marshall finds Gray. Nothing doing over Juan Morel. Amari Marshall blocked by Morel. And that's going to take us to the end of 1. 15-8. St. Bernard on top. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
Here at Game Day, we're proud to bring you unrivaled video coverage of local high school sports. All of it free for you to watch. These videos are not free for us to produce them. If you'd like to ensure that we can keep covering your school and your teams, there's a few ways that you can support us. Go over to patreon.com/theday and sign up to make a small recurring contribution. Think of it as a tip to the Game Day crew for what they do. Want to show your support in a more visible way? Hit up our merch store and pick up some Game Day gear in your school colors. Our camera operators are always looking for those shirts and hoodies in the crowd, and you may see yourself on our next live stream. We get a lot of support from businesses in our community, and if you'd like to join them as a sponsor, send us a message and we can connect you with our advertising staff. Finally, The Day is the organization behind everything we do here at Game Day. If you want to support The Day's community journalism, consider a print or digital subscription at theday.com/subscribe.
Big student section as the Lancer Nation and the Bird's Nest combining. Falcons on top of Lancers. It's chaos. It's Armageddon. Speaking of Armageddon, the sports doctor's been listening into the huddle. What do you got?
Drive and kick on offense. Listen, we got shooters all around the perimeter. So when we go into the paint and we got nothing, we've got open shooters everywhere. Mark Jones wants better ball movement on the offensive end.
Now the bigger lineup with McKelvin, Marshall, and O'Leary. Speller went for the steal. Gray pulls up for 3, short. McKelvin, strong rebound, no good. Another offensive rebound. McKelvin, bully ball, and he's going to go to the line.
Yeah, Morel on the bench right now, so St. Bernard really can go to work on that offensive glass.
I got to think that practicing every day with Kurt Marshall only enhances Troy McKelvin Jr.'s relentlessness, because when we started the year, he was a very talented freshman that kind of deferred to this state championship team. He now goes after balls with just complete reckless abandon, and now he and Kurt Marshall both have that hyper-aggressive. There's no freshman about them. They're hyper-aggressive with the basketball.
The three things that Coach Jones emphasizes are the most three important things that his team needs to do at every game. Not turn the ball over, rebound the basketball, win the 50-50 balls. And he always says, if we do those three things, cut down on turnovers, out-rebound the other team, win the 50-50 balls, we're going to be fine. We can beat anybody.
Trapped. Saints playing really tough defense. Lombardi kicks. Kramer, no man's land right now. Finally, Spencer with a long three. Good! Spencer for hire. Cuts it to 5.
Yeah, they lost track of where he was. Waterford does such a good job of swinging the ball around, unselfish. They'll hang around as long as they can make threes.
Rembert for 3 to answer. Got it! Nas knocking it down for the Saints. Turnover, O'Leary. Rembert losses it the other direction. The Saints uncharacteristically sloppy with the basketball.
A moment ago, Mike DeMoro asked me off air, what can the Lancers do to free up Spencer, get some pressure off him? I said, well, maybe they could try to have somebody else bring up the ball, but you're seeing that. I don't know if Waterford has a second ball handler that can go up against this stifling full court man pressure that the Saints have.
High screen from Morrell, pick and roll.
Couple steps.
And one too many as Morrell eyed the big dunk and had to put it to the floor. But that was a good execution of the pick and roll, except for the extra step.
Yeah. So take out the extra step.
Step for the turnover. That was really well done. Gray spins, hangs, no good. Morrell over everybody, quick outlet, I like that. Here comes Spencer, pull up 3, no good, but Kramer was in good position, and it'll stay Waterford basketball.
Yeah, and that's another way that if Morrell can be dominant on the defensive glass, you can get leakouts. But he really has to be determined, like Francis was in the first game for Fitch, to get every defensive rebounds on a miss.
Morrell and McKelvin banging down low. Nice look, Morrell in the toilet bowl goes.
Beautiful pick and roll decision from Spencer. He saw the high hedge and quickly got it to the rolling Morrell for the layup.
Waterford hanging around, it got it still at 6. Gray spins and tried to find Marshall on the cut. Out of bounds. Now Grudgeon will come in and O'Leary will come out of the game.
Once again, turnovers. Turnovers are a great equalizer for teams that might be at a disadvantage talent-wise.
Kassar. Spencer for 3. That's going to be long, but nice hustle. And Morrell, beautiful look from Lombardi. Morrell finishes it. And how is this game 4?
Well, turnovers. Turnovers by the Saints, and Morrell has had a couple good possessions in a row now. Defensive rebounds, a nice pick and roll, and a putback.
Oh, nice move by Amari Marshall with the left. Morrell maybe a whisper away.
This tempo, though, still favoring the Saints as Waterford is working very hard just to get the ball across.
Kick out, 3 ball, no good. Gray with the rebound for the Saints. They'll run. Grudgeon pulls up short. Marshall kicks it to Amir Gray. Saints will rerun the offense. Full shot clock. Rembert foregoes 1-3. Step back 3, no good. Grudgeon battling for the rebound, but it's tipped out of bounds. It'll stay with the Saints. Mangual and Kurt Marshall will check in. Naz Rembert will take a breather, and here's our first Amir Gray breather, which means you'll see Grudgeon running the point for the Saints, and this is as big a lineup as they can have in the game. Both Marshalls, along with Mangual and McKelvin, along with Grudgeon, that is a lineup with no one under 6 feet. That lineup is 6 feet, 6'5", 6'4", 6'6", 6'5". That's a big lineup. And all the way to the basket, no. Marshall rebound, no. Amari Marshall rebound, spins, and gets the soft touch.
Still trying to get Amari his basketball legs back.
Timeout, Waterford, as they had a trap in desperate times. 30-second timeout. Let's talk for a second about the lineup that's on the floor right now for the Saints, because this is a lineup that we have not seen all year. And it can't get any bigger than that. You got a 6-foot point guard in Ty Grudgeon. You've got 6'5", Curtis Marshall, 6'6", Amari Marshall, 6'6", Troy McKelvin, 6'4", Tyler Mangual. I mean, you could argue that's as long as any team we've seen all year. You go to East Catholic, you go to Windsor, there's not 5 guys 6'4" out there. So that's a long team. And this is something they haven't been able to do because Marshall missed some time. Grudgeon's just getting into the lineup. And this means Amir Gray's on the bench. Imagine this is a team that they get to put on the floor with Amir Gray on the bench.
Yeah, and that's why they're a legitimate Division I contender. Because when you go up against those teams in Division I, you need that length.
Sports Doctor, you were listening to Coach Bassett. What did he have to say?
Extremely animated, Coach Bassett, talking about play our game. Let's keep these guys off the glass, play our game, and run our sets on the offensive end. We're better than what we're showing on the floor. Very animated.
They got a good look from Kassar, but it didn't go down. Amari Marshall for 3. Good! The evolution of Amari Marshall.
Yeah, and if he's going to come back and start hitting those threes, man, St. Bernard's going to be really, really tough out in the state tournament.
7-0 run for the Saints. Spencer stepped on the line. Turnover. Saints up 11 with the basketball and sensing a body blow that they can land to the Lancers.
Yeah, Waterford's got to get a stop, limit the Saints to 1 shot. And they got to be able to bury some of these threes. It's really as simple as that. They've done a pretty good job against the pressure, but they've given St. Bernard a lot of extra opportunities, and they haven't been able to bury a lot of their open threes.
Marshall. Oh, Kurt Marshall looking like a point guard, split in the defense, and the layup has the Saints up 13.
Yeah, he's only a freshman. Sky's the limit for this young man.
Open look, Lombardi for 3, no good. On the floor for the Saints right now, 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores, and a junior.
Yep, they only have the 2 seniors, rather.
You said really Coach Jones gives them the freedom, though. 1 shot like that's not going to bother them as long as they commit on the other end, right? Kassar for 3, no good. Marshall and Kramer battling for it. Tie up. Possession arrow favors Waterford, so it'll stay here. Champagne back into the game.
And Waterford got a couple good looks at the 3-point shot the last couple possessions. They're going to have to bury them. And they can get hot where they hit 2 or 3 in a row, and then all of a sudden 13 gets down to 7, and St. Bernard can't forget that, there's still another half to play. Got to keep locking in.
Kassar for three. Good! Jordy Kassar is a shooter.
Great play design. Get the ball in and find the open shooter. They move the ball around the perimeter so well.
Mangual gets Morrell in the air, finds Marshall. Now Gray on the baseline. That's too easy.
Yeah, the other problem right now is that Waterford's having a hard time guarding St. Bernard in the half court. They can't get him to miss.
Kramer for three, no good. Marshall runs the break. The Saints have numbers. Waterford looks tired. Kurt Marshall, basket, and the foul.
St. Bernard looks locked in, Casey. They look like they're not taking this for granted. Opportunity to go back to Mohegan Sun, defend their title, avenge their last loss, although it was 2 years ago, their last ECC loss.
Well, the Saints have lost 3 times this year. We're going to talk about that in the second half and how this Saints team is different, and we're going to see what that looks like. Oh, the block and the woof. Kurt Marshall blocks and lets him know it.
It was 19-15, if you can believe it, at one point earlier in this quarter. The Saints on a 14-3 run over the last few minutes.
You're going to step in between Morrell and Marshall and calm things down.
That's good officiating. And he's basically saying, next time we're going to have to give you a technical.
You, sir, I respectfully request that you tone down your shenanigans. And you, sir, appropriate use of language with your opponents. And they both went, yes, sir, and we'll be moving on. Blocked by Grudgeon. Spencer, no. Bodies flying around. Gray saves it to Grudgeon. Ahead to Mangual. Over Morrell, and he draws the foul.
And Mangual was looking for the big yammer on that one. And he was able to get Morrell to touch him on the arm. So he'll get the 2 free throws to close out this half.
.5 remaining in the half. 2 for Tyler Mangual. He knocks the first one down. Seven different Saints have scored. Quite a half as they take their biggest lead of the game, 17. At the buzzer, good if it goes. Front rim, no. We're at halftime, and the Saints have almost doubled up Waterford. What a run to finish the half. Coach Jones has got to be pleased. The sports doctor has him at half court. Sports doctor.
Coach, you held them to 18 points in the first half. Talk about the defensive end of the game.
No, we played with great intensity. But the only other thing, too, though, is they did get a bunch of wide open shots, too. So we got to make sure, when you press, sometimes you give up open shots, if you want to speed the team up and everything. So I was pleased with our effort.
What do you want to clean up on the offensive end in the second half?
Just our movement, our spacing on everything, us not holding the ball, and us getting open looks.
Good luck in the second half. 16 minutes away from the Mohegan Sun.
We are at halftime. Hey, listen, you want something, you don't know what you want, but you got stuff you want to give? Go to my guys at CNS Pawn. Go say hi to Chippa, go say hi to Sock, and say Game Day says, I got it, you want it. And they'll take it off your hands. Those are my guys, CNS Pawn in Norwich. They sponsor the Got It of the Week. Let's take a look at some of those Got It's, some other features, and we'll come back with second half action. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
Oh no, my shoe's untied. Got it! Do you got it?
Yes! Got it!
Got it! Got it!
Hey! Got it!
The Got It of the Week was brought to you by CNS Pawn. You got it, they want it. Call my guys, 889-PAWN, located in downtown Norwich. Whatever you got, they want. And just like Game Day, they got it.
The stat about Juan, he's the only freshman I ever had to look up to the first time I met him. And he didn't play his freshman year. It was just one of those things that didn't come together, and he just wasn't on the court his freshman year.
Oh, that's 3.
But his growth, the amount that he has gone from when the first time I met him to where he is now has been amazing. Has been some of the biggest growth I've seen of any player that's come through our program.
6'10".
6'10".
Yes.
Does that include the hair?
No, just no shoes, pat down.
Okay, no shoes.
Yeah. Just in public, I go to the grocery store, I'm just walking past, and I sometimes hear, damn, he's tall. Or like, wow, Mom, you see that? In school, like, people get used to it because they see me every day, but when I walk in public, everyone's just surprised and just talks.
Every time I look at him, I feel like it's shorter and shorter. And I don't know if I'm shrinking or he's growing, but I feel like he's still getting taller. But his growth has been, first let's just talk about the basic skill work. His work around the basket, his ability to make baskets and to finish closing to the rim. There was a time last year he would try to dunk the basketball on a fast break and miss it. And it was just, he wasn't ready. And this year when he came in, I said, you're ready for everything at every moment.
Coming from the summer, I played for the Dominican national team. I played U17. Coming back from, playing in DR, I came back and just thought I had to step in a bigger role.
I never thought Juan would be the leader that he is today. And he is a guy who guys look up to. And we all make the jokes. Of course they look up to him. But they look up to him where they follow his leadership. He's the one that gets guys together on the court, just the 5 of them. He's the one who's talking to players after practice, before practice, kind of recognizing their talents and how to get them involved in the game more. That's something that it's hard to recreate. I've only seen through a few special players who have come through here.
Expectations are just like everyone just looks up to you and just expects everything from you, up to rebounds, putbacks, layups. So I feel like if I don't meet those expectations, I'm always hanging my head down. Because, I know people, set me high. So, if I don't meet them, I just get upset with myself, which I shouldn't.
It was extremely hard until I really got to talk to him and talk to him about how he felt about it. Those expectations last year, he just felt like he had to literally carry everybody. I said, that's not how this works. It's a team game. Everyone's got to carry their fair share. And this year, he's kind of come into his own where he's able to, carry more, but help other guys carry the load even better.
He was a big part of what we did last year. I mean, he was a big part of that state championship run, and, we wouldn't be state champions without him. He's a big part of what we're doing this year also.
He wants me to always go out and guard the best player and just try to get in their head, make them have an off day and do anything we can do to win.
Yeah, he's an irritant, man. He's, poking you, doing stuff like that or whatever, and he's good at it. He does it in practice, he does it in the game, so why wouldn't we have him guard the best players? And he's athletic, he can move, he can keep guys in front, and like I said, he's competitive. So I think he does a great job in his role, and he's a star in his role.
I feel like I really embrace it because I feel like it means I'm hard working. I can keep this team together on the court and keep the energy up, and that's just my goal.
Doc Rivers always says be a star in your role, and he's a star in his role. And that's defensively knocking down open shots and being a leader on this team. Like, he's a leader for a reason. And there's no way that we win a state championship without Colin. There's no way.
Do you think you have to be a star to be a leader?
No, definitely not. I feel like if I just bring intensity and show the other kids that I'm willing to win and how hard we have to work to win, I feel like that is very important.
I'll tell you a quick story. He was starting at the beginning of the season, and I said to him, you know, Colin, we're going to put Tyler back into the starting lineup. I said, all right, coach. Like, he didn't bat an eye or anything. And I was like, okay, I had a big speech and everything prepared for you to understand why I was doing what I was doing. But he was like, nah, coach, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. I'm good. We're trying to win the state title. If that's what you think's right, let's go with it.
You could be a 1,000-point scorer someplace else or have the career you had here.
I would have to take that ring any day of the week.
It's time for Game Day's Grade 8 Plays of the Week. At number 8, Bacon Academy's Theo Koutsafavis drives razzle-dazzle behind the back Kevin Claffey with the finish. Hey, do you remember when Ledyard's Zion Bunkley dunked over Juan Morel? Juan Morel remembered, gets him back with a nice dunk over Bunkley. At number 6, the Wyndham girls basketball team is flying. Haley Flores with the steal runs the break. Anaya Jenkins, Asia Harris finishes. That's how it's done. Coach Mangual is pumped. His team punched their ticket to the sun. Ledyard girls basketball. Maggie Dykes with the hard-fought basket. But you know what? The real stars in this game? The Colonel's bench. Dancing, showing the moves. I think I saw the sprinkler. Hey, Coach Mike Morgan. Bow and arrow. At number 4, you know who else can dance? The entire ECC with the Waterford Unified cheerling and AD Chris Landry. Cotton Eye Joe, a high point at the ECC championships. But the championships belonged to East Lyme. The Division I champions, the overall champions. You see the coach cam, they love it. They said they were full throttle, and the whole pyramid packed with elite skills. Everything for the crowd, ending in an incredible full twisting flip. It was all Vikings. The inspiration and motivation came the second he lost the ECC final to Malachi Fowler. In the Class S state championship, Soren Reef got it done. Beats Fowler 4-3, wins the state championship for Class S, and pretty soon there was a hug for Mom. But at number 1, sometimes Montville basketball is just a treat. 4 seconds left, Mom can't watch. Inbound pass, Jack Treat, down 2, floating 3, got it. Wolves win. Let's take another look. Let's give you 3 looks at what can. You know, I've been sitting here for about 8 hours. My back's starting to tighten up. So I'm already looking forward to Monday when I can get back to Casey Chiropractic, because the guys at Casey Chiropractic are what keep me on my feet and moving. Total body care, total body wellness, an understanding of all of what moves in your body and how to make it better. So go see my folks at Casey Chiropractic in Colchester, Connecticut. They will take good care of you. Tell Dr. Casey that Casey said you should come to Casey. And maybe you'll get an adjustment. The adjustment doesn't seem to be something that's easy in the face of it all, but what can Waterford do to try to, creep back in this thing?
They got to start by limiting the Saints to 1 shot. Now, if St. Bernard doesn't miss, then good night. But if they do miss, you got to get the defensive rebound, and then you got to find ways to continue to execute and find those open shooters. They were able to get some open shots. They're going to have to bury them. But it all starts on the defensive end, getting stops and limiting the Saints to 1 shot. If that doesn't happen, good night. For the Saints,
do this,
maybe
repeat?
Just keep breathing. But they just don't want to get careless. I think sometimes we've seen them, go into the complacency mode and get careless.
Mangual finds an open Kurt Marshall for three, and nothing careless about a triple to start the second half, and a 20-point lead. I know how Waterford can get back in this thing. Much like I did on the playground when I was down a lot of points. Next basket wins. Kramer partially blocked. Morrell cleans it up.
That's a positive, though. You got to be active. The big man has to be active in there.
Gray. Now Marshall looking to dump it down to McKelvin. McKelvin, I love it. He's demanding it. Instead, Grudgeon straightaway three, no good. And there's Morrell for another rebound. Stevens. Spencer, I should say. Left hand from Lombardi is good.
They shaved a point off the lead.
Gray, no good. Weak side, though, Mangual with the offensive rebound. They swing it around to Marshall. Gray, reset the offense. The shooter in this group is McKelvin. Marshall goes right through Morrell. Now Mangual took about 7 steps. It couldn't get it to go down. And after all this, it'll be Waterford basketball.
Well, so there's a stop. It was 17 at halftime. It's now 16. So you got to chunk this game up. Try to get it, by the 4-minute mark. Try to get it around 12, 10, 12 points.
And a turnover as Lombardi was hounded by that very persistent Saints pressure. McKelvin in the corner. Mangual thought about it, drives instead. No good, but Morrell ends up on the deck. Rebound Kassar. Here comes Spencer. Back and forth we go.
Yeah, and Spencer went and drove to the basket, and Morrell wasn't there yet.
Reach and foul on Parker Spencer.
Those are the kinds of little things that as he matures, he'll realize, I'm going to take it to the basket. Contested, I better have a chance to get an offensive rebound. I got to wait for my big man to get down there.
Amir Gray hangs in the air, draws the foul on Sean Kramer, and he'll shoot 2. Winner of this one will head to the Mohegan Sun Tuesday night for the 8 o'clock Division I championship game against the Fitch Falcons. They won a close one over the New London Whalers in the other semifinal. Our 6 o'clock game on Tuesday, number 1 Stonington, number 2 Wheeler in the Division II championship game, all at Mohegan Sun.
St. Bernard just came out from the jump with a lot of intensity, a lot of energy on defense, which is not what they've always displayed. Sometimes against an opponent that they've beaten before or that they think it's going to be an easy game, they don't always come out with that defensive fire. Today they realize the urgency of the moment. You lose, your tournament is over.
Up ahead, Gray one-on-one with Morrell. And Gray scores at the basket. Back to 20. Out of bounds, it'll stay with Waterford.
Yeah, just Waterford, when they try to drive, a lot of tall bodies, a lot of long arms in there, not getting any easy shots off the dribble.
Grudgeon will inbound, will guard the inbound from Spencer. Left-handed basket is good from Lombardi on a nifty pass from Morrell, and Lombardi will go to the line to shoot the bonus.
Yeah, nice backdoor cut. Nice bounce pass from Morrell. Needed it. A lot of time left.
Quinn Speller will check into the ball game for Waterford. Jordy Kassar will take a breather. One shot for Gabe Lombardi. McKelvin takes the rebound down, and the Saints, with an 18-point lead, have the basketball. Gridgen, zip pass underneath to Marshall, and he finishes over Lombardi. Absorbed the bump, took the two. Speller, wild shot. Marshall's going to run the break ahead to Gray. Hard foul from Parker Spencer, and Gray will shoot two.
I didn't think it was a hard foul. I didn't think it was a dirty foul. St. Bernard disagrees.
Third foul on Parker Spencer.
But what's important is you got to keep your cool here, because you don't want to do anything to jeopardize the final. You want your full roster.
I mean, Gray, the one who got fouled, didn't act like it was a big deal at all. He walked away.
Nothing's a big deal to Amir. He just plays ball.
But I like, that his teammates, right, stepped up to be, defend him without making it, foolish or ugly. But they, and Amir's just like, I'm good. I'll knock these two down and we'll move on.
That's basketball. I didn't think it was anything crazy.
Listen, I've seen hard fouls.
Yeah.
That was fine.
Love tap.
I got harder fouls at Nathan Hale Elementary School back in my my days. Nice move to the basket from Kramer. He'll draw the foul, and Grudgeon will pick it up, and Kramer will shoot two.
Personal fouls number 3, Ty Grudgeon, his third. Team's third.
It's crazy just to think, Casey, that this team is coming back in its entirety next year. This lineup right here.
Yeah.
And in 2 years, they only lose one of those 5 players. So it's very young. Starting to take, I think, as I mentioned before, starting to take what Mark Jones is doing for granted a little bit. We know that these are good players, but they're 14, 15, 16-year-old kids, and kids don't always play consistently. There's a lot of things going on that a coach has to navigate. For them to keep winning and winning so impressively can't be taken for granted.
I think next year is that premier year for the Saints, though, when Gray and Amari Marshall are seniors, where Kurt Marshall and Troy McKelvin Jr. are sophomores, because I don't know that once you lose Marshall and Gray, it kind of a reboot. But next year with them as seniors, the other two as sophomores, Mangual, and as a senior as well, I think that group is going to be, that might be the pinnacle group for the Saints.
Yeah, but don't discount this year, right?
No, not at all.
I think they got a good draw, and as good as you could get in Division I. Notre Dame, West Haven, and East Catholic are on the entire other side of the bracket, so they wouldn't have to face. They don't have to face both of those teams, and they would only face one of them in the finals at Mohegan.
Yeah, we'll talk in a few minutes a little bit about that Division I bracket for the Saints. They turn over Spencer, and Kurt Marshall with the Thunder Dunk.
A big lefty.
Nice touch on the other end from Kramer. Grudgeon gives it to Marshall, and now swings it to McKelvin. Gray with a wide open three, high rainbow, good! Make it rain, Amir Gray with a big arc. 23 for the lead, 20 for Gray.
Just a quiet 20 for Gray. Just keeps doing it.
Gray, nice look, Mangual, and all cylinders firing for the Saints. Timeout. Bill Bassett has the biggest lead of the game, 25 for the St. Bernard Saints. So let's take this time to talk a little bit about Division One. So in Division One, you've got about 8 teams that are really, really good. The key is avoiding really difficult road games until you can get to those neutral site semis. And for the Saints, their neutral site semi would be Ridgefield, which is the road game you want to avoid. Their quarterfinal game would be Colby, which features one of the best players in the state, an outstanding team, Colby Cathedral. But I think if you had their druthers, they would choose that game at Colby and then neutral site against Ridgefield if they were able to advance. Notre Dame, I don't think people understand how good a top 15 school type of player is. To put it in perspective, Chris Dunn was as good as anyone we've ever seen around here. And he went to Providence. He didn't get offers from Kentucky, from North Carolina, from Duke. They weren't on the radar for him. And yet he's in the NBA. Here's Marshall with the big thunder dunk. On this Saints team, there's a lot of college basketball players. But Notre Dame's got a top 15 type recruit, in the country. That type of electric player, especially at 6'10", can change everything at this level.
Yeah, he had 49 the other night. Abdou Toure from Notre Dame West Haven, and but they wouldn't have to face him until the finals. And that Notre Dame West Haven East Catholic rivalry is on par with all the good rivalries in the state as Amir Gray continues to just get buckets. So you don't even know if Notre Dame West Haven would get past East Catholic in the semis.
That's true. Biggest lead for the Saints, and now St. Bernard's is looking to sort of have some fun too.
Looking ahead maybe a little bit to our championship game in this conference on Tuesday at Mohegan. I do think that the Fitch Falcons will give St. Bernard, obviously they're going to give them a little bit more resistance right now. Waterford's, just struggling to find some momentum here, but I do think that Fitch has a fighting chance if Jacob Francis plays the way that he did tonight on Tuesday night, because they can score the basketball with their, they'll have Saab back. Reels played great tonight. Sebastian played great. So you have Reels, Saab, Good, JJ that can all score from the perimeter. Can the Falcons limit the Saints to one shot? The Saints are going to get their baskets. You can't let them get extra chances.
I think you're spot on, but I would say this. If Jacob Francis doesn't play like he played today, they have no shot. So they have a fighter's chance if he plays like he did today. They've got no chance if he doesn't, and it's because Marshall, McKelvin, Mangual, they just are so relentless on the glass with all these bigs, and Francis is one. He's one guy, and as good as Saab or, Virtue and guys can be, that's a tall order.
It is, but the championship game.
Rembert comes in, knocks a long 3 down. 30-point lead for the Saints.
I'm excited to see it. As I said in the first broadcast, Coach Sylvan has been in the semifinals a lot. He's had a lot of teams that have been competitive, and I thought he coached an outstanding game. As you see Xavier Good and JJ up there, he coached an outstanding game today. He got so much out of his bench. I think that's something that people don't always realize, to keep kids engaged on the bench and have them come in and do their job and not try to overdo it. As Amari flies to the basket, that's coaching. It's not always about drawing up a good play. Good coaching is keeping your guys locked in when they're sitting on the bench for 8 to 10 minutes.
Morrell misses at the basket. Saints just having a good time now. Gray, Marshall Kurt, Marshall Amari. There's a pair of Marshalls in this here town. You know, I don't care how quick Amir Gray's hands are, in the Wild West, it's the Marshalls.
I think that's a good one.
Spencer drives and finishes with a nice little touch. Final seconds here of the third quarter, 45 and counting, a 34-point lead for the Saints. Rembert, oh, he gets the soft touch over Speller. Nas with the big arcer. Three from Champagne, no good. Marshall, here comes Amari. And the hustle from Champagne staved off the dunk, but not the layup. And we're down under 6 seconds remaining. And we're gonna get a tee.
Looks like on Rembert, and if I'm Mark Jones, he does not play the rest of this game, just out of safety for not getting a second technical. And you can't play on Tuesday night.
So they called the foul on Kurt Marshall, and then a technical foul on Nas Rembert.
Mark is talking to Nas as if it's a Sunday morning sermon.
I think he's telling him all of the things that you just said. Like, it does not matter the circumstances behind it. If you'd like to play on Tuesday night, you have to not say a word of any kind and no looks of any kind. And, I think Nas is going, I don't think I said anything all that bad.
Well, that's the problem. That's why I'm not taking any chances. He can't, I guess he could get a technical from the bench, so I guess it doesn't matter where he's in the gym. Maybe go to the locker room. Is there any food left back there?
Spencer makes 2 of the free throws, and 6 seconds remaining in the third quarter. He'll keep shooting. And he missed another one. And now Waterford will have the ball with 6 seconds down a lot.
Oh, he did take Rembert out.
Down 34 points.
Waterford had a sensational quarterfinal win against Norwich Free Academy. It was an exciting game. Both teams were hitting a lot of threes, and that's what they would have had to duplicate or replicate today. Just weren't the same caliber of defensive opponents.
We're at the end of 3. The St. Bernard Saints well on their way to a ticket to Mohegan Sun. We'll be back with the fourth quarter. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
All that is good begins with a smile. At Waterford Dental Health, your smile is our top priority. Our entire team is dedicated to providing you with the personalized, gentle care that you deserve. Part of our commitment to serving our patients includes providing information that helps them to make more informed decisions about their oral health needs. Our website is a resource we hope you'll find both useful and interesting. Contact us today at waterforddentalhealth.com.
Right now, that man is imploring his team to hold it together and put on a good show here in the fourth quarter. They're down 34 points to the St. Bernard Saints. And, we said coming into the tournament, the top 3 teams in the ECC have been so good. And while Waterford and East Lyme and NFA, kind of the 4, 5, 6 teams, had all been able to compete with New London and compete with Fitch in a game here and there, those top 3 teams really stood tall all year. And so that's why getting that #1 seed mattered so much for St. Bernard's, because you saw New London and Fitch go at each other in the semifinal. But this St. Bernard team has not lost. They are going to be close to, they'll be playing for a 30-game win streak Tuesday night at the Sun. Sports Doctor, you were listening to the Waterford bench. What did, we'll save that for a later date. Marshall gets the steal for the Saints. They're running. They got 4-on-1. Ahead it goes. And O'Leary finishes for the Saints. We'll be seeing the JV kids in here pretty soon, I think. Other direction, Morrell fouled by Amari Marshall. He'll shoot 2.
And, you know, the Lancers have a big one coming up in the first round of the state tournament.
Now, can we pause for a second?
All right,
before we announce who this is.
All right, sorry.
I mean, before we tell you who the first round opponent of Waterford is, I just want to say this. Really?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, really?
Well, it's terrible.
Isn't it crazy, though, how that can happen?
It happened a couple years ago with Fitch as well. They had to play an ECC school.
Who is, yeah, but not just an ECC school.
Yeah.
Who's Waterford playing in the first round?
They will be traveling down, a little bit down 95 to face their rivals, the East Line Vikings.
The good news is it's a 10-minute bus ride. That's the good news. A familiar gym. But I mean, like, really? These two teams in the first round of the States.
Yeah, I would be curious to see, though, you know, if Coach Bassett would, you know, rather have that coming off a loss like this. You know, coming off a loss like this, it's kind of demoralizing. You know, like I said, you can't take for granted the big win that they had over NFA. NFA had been playing well. NFA was only down to St. Bernard's 2 points last week in the regular season finale for the Wildcats. So it looked like, you know, NFA was licking their chops to get a second chance at St. Bernard, but Waterford had other plans. And now I wonder, after taking this big L, if they needed something to kind of juice them up. And, you know, playing against their rival, that's going to juice them up.
Shem Adams into the game for the Saints. Speller scores over Rembert. Jonah Eddy into the game for the Saints as well.
And they've lost to East Line both times, Casey. So a chance to, like, send the Vikings home for good this season. I mean, if you're not motivated by that, you know, I don't know what could get you motivated for the rest of this, to get you through the rest of this season.
And I think if you're East Line, you're probably going, really?
That's a I think it's the other. I think for Waterford, it's actually not the worst matchup. They were going to have to go on the road anyways.
But if you're East Line, you're like, really?
Yes.
We got a team that has to travel 5 minutes.
Yes.
That knows us really well.
Yes.
And, I mean, there's going to be no fear there.
Yep. They're going to bring a crowd.
We couldn't draw the team coming from Thompson.
Right.
Or, you know, from the team coming from Sharon.
Yeah.
I think that has to, you know, drive it. No, we got a team that can walk here.
Yeah. They'll have a student section.
Yeah,
and,
that's right.
You know, it'll be that's not a, you know, they earned a home game and they get Waterford. That's not a good draw for East Line. I don't think it's the worst draw for Waterford. I think it's something that they might relish after, you know, this game. Just Bassett could say, just let's flush it, guys. We got East Line.
Adams with a 3, no good. Eddy with the rebound. Now Rembert, spot up 3 from the corner, no good. But O'Leary with the rebound. O'Leary for 3, no good. Eddy with another offensive rebound. Here comes Speller with Morrell. Speller missed the layup. Morrell missed the follow dunk. Eddy with a save. Rembert lobs to Amari Marshall, and he's fouled by Champagne up on the lob.
Great save by Jonah Eddy. I thought that was for sure going into the third row. It was almost the highlight of the game.
Well, Eddy's a football player, and those 50-50 balls mean everything. And the crowd's disappointed because they wanted Champagne to let Marshall go up and throw the lob dunk down. One more for Amari Marshall. Second one for Marshall is good. So 32-point lead. Long three from Speller, no good.
Christian Tompkins in the game, Casey, number 30 for St. Bernard.
And he just got a rebound. Rembert will go to the line.
Personal foul number 1, Quinn Speller, his third. Team's third.
So Nas Rembert will shoot a pair. One more for Rembert. Five and a half minutes left. This is where I want running clock. Can we do this like football with a running clock? Spencer, straightaway three, no good. Speller with the save, but he was out of bounds. So the Saints will have the basketball. Talk a little bit, so we talked a little bit about the Saints road.
Mm-hmm.
Who else in the ECC has the best road to the finals?
Well,
O'Leary for three.
Well, Fitch is going to have their opportunity to grab themselves an ECC crown on Tuesday, but they have another chance to grab a Division III state tournament crown when that tournament begins on the following week. They will play, they're ranked 9 in Division III, and they will also play a familiar ECC foe,
Wyndham, who they should beat. The question is, who is the team in Division III that they're going to have to beat on the road to get into the mix?
So then they would play most likely Seymour in the 8-9 game.
Okay, so that's a 2.5-hour helicopter ride from Groton. So that's not easy because they're going to have to.
And then they have SMSA as the number 1 seed in the quarterfinals, and SMSA has beaten Cromwell this year, so that could be a tough test for them. They also have beaten Stonington, so those are 2 teams of note that SMSA has beaten to give you some relative transitive
Fitch is going to be able to go to school a little bit with Stonington as a resource.
And then, should they make the semis, you're looking at the other top teams in that division are Lewis Mills, Wilby, Chippewa Valley, Bunnell, East Haven. Stonington is the 7 seed, and Seymour, the 8 seed, as I said, is who they would play in the second round.
All right, let's play a little game. I want you to tell me what town, no, you can't look, what town, you named 3 schools there. What town is Chippewa Valley in?
I'm on the camera, too.
All right, we'll table that one. You get paused.
Yeah,
What
that's a tough
town
one.
is Wilby in?
Well, a little known fact, I am a graduate of Wilby High School.
Then you should know this.
Waterbury.
Okay. I mean, there's your gift. What town is Lewis Mills in?
Thomaston?
Farmington. Burlington, I should say. Burlington, the next one up. Burlington. It was an Ington.
Ington. I had a.
What town is Bunnell in?
That one's Stratford.
That is correct. Sports Doctor, I'm sorry. You're playing this game
All
with
right,
us?
I'm tagging you in.
Sheepdog Valley?
Yeah.
That
sounds like a school that a Wheeler grad should go.
Oh, my
Really,
God.
for real.
I want to say it's Ansonia Derby, that area through the state. No, Mike DeMauro is shaking his head and says no.
Mike knows.
Can I get a hint, Casey?
Mike DeMauro, should we give him a hint? Our nation's
It's in
capital.
Washington.
Oh.
I'm just really glad you got it right after that hint.
Lewis Mills is in the northwest corner of the state.
No, Lewis Mills is in Burlington. Burlington is right up there on Route 4.
Yeah, so little-known facts. Wilby are the Wildcats.
You're a Wilby graduate.
And then I coached for the Norwich Free Academy Wildcats. So
is your favorite movie the Goldie Hawn classic Wildcats?
Should be. Should be.
Into the game for St. Bernard's, Oakley Garrison, one of their other seniors. So Jonah Eddy, a senior, Colin O'Leary, a senior, Oakley Garrison, a senior, all in the game right now for the Saints. Adams ahead to O'Leary. Waterford has a couple of subs into the game as well as Champagne shoots a 3. Into the game for the Lancers, Porter, Swenson, Cardwell. My taxes are due April 15th, and I send them to the firm of Porter, Svensson, Cardwell. He's into the game as well, along with Champagne and Spencer and Lombardi and Speller into the game right now. Now we're going to see Brevin Gonzalez, Colchester's own Brevin Gonzalez, former Cougar, into the ball game. He has made such great strides this year as well for the Saints. And for Waterford, Darian Sherwood into the game. So Brevin Gonzalez in for the Saints, Darian Sherwood in for Waterford.
So Fitch, I think, has a decent road. New London, I think they got kind of a tough draw in Division II. Division II is really heavy on one side of the bracket, and New London's on that side of the bracket. So they'll get Bloomfield at home in the first rounds. If they win, which they should, they'll get another home game against Wilton out of the FCAC.
Christian Tompkins will go to the line after an offensive rebound.
If they win that, that'll be a tough one. Wilton is always well coached, and they play that tough FCAC schedule. They'll play on the road in the quarters against the number 3 seed. If seeds holds, the number 3 seed would be Trumbull, so another tough FCAC team.
Wait a minute. Fitch would have to go to Trumbull?
New London.
Oh, New London would have to go to Trumbull.
Yes.
Leave now. But that's actually two schools that have matched up against each other on both sides, girls and boys, over the years. Trumbull and New London seem to have run into each other a few times. Second one by Tompkins is good, and we're going to see another Mangual, freshman Tyson Mangual, into the game now for the Saints.
And should New London get through that FCAC two-headed monster, then they would get Windsor in the semis.
Oh, the rematch of a great game at the Classic. Nice move by Lombardi.
Whereas on the other side of that same tournament, Norwich Free Academy draws Glastonbury in the first round, a team they already beat by 10 in the regular season, although it was back in December. And if they win that, they would get either New Britain or Holy Cross Waterbury, which aren't as powerful, in my opinion, as Wilton and Trumbull. So Norwich Free Academy, I think, has a pretty good draw.
Shem Adams knocks down the first, one more, and now checking into the game, Donato Barnhill, the big sophomore for Waterford. Offensive lineman, defensive lineman for the Lancer football team.
And the number 1 seed in Division II is Manchester, so that's whom.
Not for nothing, but sign me up for the Manchester-Windsor final.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, New London without Savon Warren, that's a tough ask. Windsor, I mean, if Windsor doesn't make Mohegan Sun, it's going to feel like a real letdown.
Yeah.
But Manchester has the history and the schedule and all of that you would like to see against a team like a Windsor.
Wheeler's in Division 4. We're going to see them on Tuesday night battle Stonington. They probably should be in Division 5, one of the smallest schools in the state. But
well, did I not hear that Wheeler and Turtelot have essentially the same number of students? And 222 students. Long 3 for Shem Adams, no good. And yet Wheeler is in Division 4 and Turtelot's in Division 5.
Right.
And the Turtelot team we saw today could make some noise in Division 5. and Wheeler's in Division 4 with Woodstock Academy. And I'll tell you what now, that Woodstock Academy team could make some noise in Division 4.
Yeah.
Brady Erickson is, there's not a lot of Division 4 teams that are going to see 6'8" Brady Erickson in the middle of the game, along with some guard play.
Right.
That Woodstock team is going to be going into a Division 4 tournament having played New London, St. Bernard, Fitch. Like, they're going to have played some big-time teams from the ECC to go in and play in that Division 4 tournament. I like Woodstock to make a little noise in the Division 4 tournament.
Although Woodstock does have to travel to Weaver, which is not your traditional Division 4 team either. Big shot there.
Down under 2 minutes.
So Wheeler would play Plantsville at home in the first round, but they are the 9 seed, so they would have to go to the 8 seed Northwestern in the second round.
Northwestern from Wheeler, which is
Yes.
literally the farthest drive in the state of Connecticut that you can go.
Southeast corner to northwest.
It's Rhode Island. It's Rhode Island. It's Rhode Island to New York.
Yes. And then if Wheeler were to get to the quarters, they would go to Morgan.
That's going to seem like a beach day compared to going to Northwest. Oh, my goodness.
Wheeler lost to Morgan in the regular season this year, so that would be a rematch game for them.
All right, a minute remaining here in this dominant semifinal win for the St. Bernard Saints as they are up 32 points. Eddie back in the game. Shem Adams will come out. Colby Sheehan in the game, number 23 for Waterford. Gonzalez off to the races. He's fouled by Champagne, and Brevin Gonzalez will shoot a pair.
Couple days of preparation now for these 4 teams. Wheeler, Stonington, Fitch, and St. Bernard to get ready for the big stage. The ECC Finals at Mohegan Sun. Great doubleheader coming up Tuesday night.
6 o'clock and 8 o'clock. All the action here live on game day.
So tomorrow is a day that, typically you give your players off, but that year, that two years in a row, we made the Mohegan Sun Final, 2019 and 20. But we would practice late Sunday afternoon. So give them the morning off, sleep in a little bit. We'd come in around 12:30, 1 o'clock. I guess that's not late afternoon, early afternoon. And then, kind of start the foundation of the game plan. So coaches would go to work watching film tonight and into the morning Sunday, and then you have your regular practice Monday, your regular day before the game practice Monday to get ready for that big championship event Tuesday at the Sun.
Congratulations to the St. Bernard Saints. They're on their way again to the Mohegan Sun. They'll take on the Fitch Falcons Tuesday night in the Division I final. We'll be back with the coaches interview sponsored by the law offices of Dan Horgan, as well as our interview with the player of the game. But right now, we'll take a break. Come on back for the interviews. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
I came here in 1992 not knowing a soul, and I started a law practice in New London. The community has supported us ever since. Thank you. Game day athletes, playing high school sports is going to be one of the best experiences of your life. I know you give 100% effort and you treat your teammates, your opponents, and your coaches and officials with respect. Are you doing the same in school? Are you showing up every day and giving 100% effort? Are you giving the respect to your classmates, your teachers, and your parents? Sure, winning is great, and give it your best today when you go out on that field. But never forget, getting a good education will be the best game you'll ever play in your life.
Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe.
All that is good begins with a smile. At Waterford Dental Health, your smile is our top priority. Our entire team is dedicated to providing you with the personalized, gentle care that you deserve. Part of our commitment to serving our patients includes providing information that helps them to make more informed decisions about their oral health needs. Our website is a resource we hope you'll find both useful and interesting. Contact us today at waterforddentalhealth.com.
The St. Bernard Saints are on their way to Mohegan Sun again for another chance at an ECC crown. The Sports Doctor is with head coach Mark Jones and a big happy group of Saints. Sports Doctor.
Happy group of Saints indeed, Coach. You're heading back to the Mohegan Sun. If you could think about when this season started back in November and December, was this one of the goals?
Oh, yes, of course. To win the regular season and to win the ECC. I mean, we haven't won the ECC, championship yet, but they've done a great job of getting back to Mohegan Sun.
Mark, talk about this team from, say, Game 3 or Game 4 to Game now. Do you like what you see out of your group?
Yes, they're playing hard. They're competing. They're doing everything that we're asking them to do. I couldn't be more proud of these guys.
We look ahead to Fitch. I mean, that seems to be the key matchup in the league right now. Talk about them a little bit.
Oh, they're really good, and they're really well coached. They play together. They play hard, and they got two unbelievable stars. And they got Jacob and Saab, so it's going to be a test.
It's going to be a heavyweight matchup, and it helps when you got a point guard like Amir Gray. He's our player of the game tonight. Total team effort tonight. You scored 22 points. Did you feel you had to take on the load a little bit early?
Yeah, I did. I just had to get the team started early. Last time we played Waterford, I had the first couple of points, but when I come out with energy, the whole team comes out with energy. So,
and your front court, the Marshall kids up front, everybody playing defense. How good can this team be going into Tuesday night and going to defend the state title?
This team could be great. We're not even at our potential yet. We still got to lock in. We still got more to go.
Yeah, great game tonight. Lots of room to improve, Casey, for the Saints, says Amir Gray. They're headed back to the Mohegan Sun Tuesday night.
Thank you, Sports Doctor. Well, it's been a fabulous day here at Waterford High School. The Saturday semifinals. Once again, Tuesday night, 6 o'clock, Stonington High School and Wheeler in your Division II final. Fitch and St. Bernard in your Division I final. All the action live on game day. 6 o'clock tip, 8 o'clock is your scheduled nightcap, and we'll have all the action. So for everybody here, thank you very much, by the way, to Chris Landry and all the people at Waterford High School for the impossible task of putting on a seamless Saturday semifinal. They did such a great job. So to all the folks here at Waterford High School for the hospitality, for all of the game day crew, it took a village today. We brought them all out. They all got it done. We thank everybody who tuned in. We'll see you Tuesday night. Be safe. You've been watching Game Day live on theday.com.